সেই মাদক যুদ্ধ ফেরত আসছে তোমার ক্যাম্পাসে। নতুন যোদ্ধাদের সাথে আরো লড়াই এবং আরো উত্তেজনার সাথে বিশাল পুরস্কার মূল্য 30,000 USD। ব্যাক করো তোমার গেমিং ব্যাগ, প্রস্তুত করো তোমার বন্ধুদের।
Hello and welcome. What a wonderful day this is to get back into the action. Of course, this is going to be the PUBG Mobile Campus Championship in the Bangladesh region. Season 1 continuing along with day number 2, and joined us, it is none other than Varun I Super Johnny to get us through these 4 games. Dude, how are you doing and how excited are you for this day 2?
Well, I'm super excited. Yesterday, we did have the pleasure to witness teams from Group A and B in action. Today, it's going to be Group C and D going at it again. And well, to remind the audience, we are in the semifinals right now. It's just one more step on the ladder to the finals, and one more step to compete for the prize money that's there for the campus championship.
Absolutely, mate. And all of this is, of course, a huge thanks to Oppo F19 Pro for making it all happen. Hashtag Wook up your fun. And with that, coming back to the prize pool once again, I mean, yes, it is thanks to Oppo F19 Pro, but dude, that's a big thanks, because you're looking at $60,000 combining the 2 seasons. I mean, perfect turn of events right here.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, in order to compete for the money, in order to compete, you have to earn points in every single match. So the point system is in front of us right now. I mean, we have been seeing the teams relying heavily on that 1 kill, 1 point sort of a strategy, getting a lot of kills in yesterday's matches as well, where we did have bots in pajamas, like massive 60. I believe they have 60 or somewhere around 60 kills in the entire day. And then there's the team of Future Station as well, sitting in the top 3 with a lot of kills too. They have no chicken dinners though. So that is a thing that has been happening with the teams. Let's see if it's going to be the same scenario today.
Exactly, and in that, as you just rather mentioned as well, yesterday we saw Group A and B, and in that, it is BIP, the lads in pajamas, the bots in pajamas, who were able to get themselves on the top of the leaderboard. But today, it is going to be 2 different individual groups. That is, of course, going to be Group C and D, and in that, we've got 1952 right here, Magnet, Entry, Tofik. Again, so many wonderful teams, a lot of experience being shared across the 2 groups themselves, but only one of them can be the champ at the end of the day.
Well, definitely. Only one will be champion. Only one will be walking away with that massive prize money sitting on the first position. But talking about some interesting names, I mean, Static Tribe and RZ have had interesting performances in their round of qualification. But some of the biggest names that are present in this lobby would be Venom Legends and KSX, teams that are sort of veterans of the Bangladesh scene of PUBG Mobile. But then again, schedule for today, it's going to be the same as yesterday.
Exactly, where we start things off once again on the map of Erangel. Following along, it will be Sanhok taking us back through Miramar, and then finally, it will be Erangel once again. Now, when you talk about the aggressive games that we saw yesterday, it was a really good start. It was a wonderful start where it was Phantom ES who were able to walk away with 10 kills in the first game itself. So, I'm hoping today, these groups that are going to be, of course, Group C and D, also bring something similar to the play.
Well, it's not just you, it's going to be me as well. I mean, I would love to see the sort of aggressive performance that was put by Future Station. I would love to see a team sort of try and replicate that. I mean, but along with that, I mean, it is these teams, if you think about it, starting off on a back foot as compared to the teams from Group A and B, since they have already played their matches. Their points are set right now for the next couple of days. In fact, till tomorrow, until one of the groups actually comes back into the action. But their points are theirs. Bots in pajamas, they're going to be starting with 60 points as far as the overall rankings are concerned, and these teams are starting from 0. So it depends on the mindset of the teams as to how they look at it. Do they completely ignore the fact that there is sort of an overall leaderboard already set right now and be like, all right, we have to do our best, doesn't matter where we finish, but we need to get points for ourselves? Or are they going to be like, all right, bots in pajamas is at 60, we need to make sure we make it to 61?
You know, that latter half that you just spoke about, that is where my mindset is going to be taking me. Because in a way, these lads from Group C and D have this working for them. They know what the entire overall standing is resulting to when it comes to the point structure of it. So they've kind of set a basic number that they need to be around, to move on along. At the end of the day, that is what will matter. At the end of the day, it is going to be the overall that will also tell us and the viewers that who will be the champions, who's going to be bringing in that dominating play. Of course, yesterday we saw this wonderful team of bots in pajamas walk away with some wonderful kills, as well as getting that storyline working for them on day number 1. But also there were teams who were able to get 2 chicken dinners, right, in those 4 games. So that also factors in. And then finally, as this entire 6-day affair of the semifinals will come to an end, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that day 1 to day 2 to day 3 to throughout all the 6 days, this just keeps on piling up, right? The aggression level, the domination just keeps on going from one step to the next to the next.
Exactly. I mean, as the days move forward, the level of aggression, the intensity in the matches, it's going to go up until the very last day of the particular stage, the semi-finals, because that always happen on the last day. Everyone is like, all right, we don't want to risk our position, we're going to be extra careful. There's a fight right there, let's avoid that, let's move in from the other direction. That's what teams do on the very last day. But until we reach that point, I mean, the teams are just going to try and go for it, because there are still matches remaining. There is still an opportunity to recover the points that you have lost, and that is something that I believe the teams that are not doing so well right now need to keep their eyes out on, specifically the teams that did play yesterday. Because again, teams playing today, Group C and D, starting off fresh, 0 points for everyone. It is going to be a good opportunity for them to actually compete. I would love to see, although are we going to see a one-sided domination? As you mentioned, ABC NSQ yesterday did have 2 chicken dinners in the 4 matches that they played. So maybe someone can do 3 today.
Again, that could very well be one of those moments where the entire lobby where we've got all these 4 groups are generally going to be a bit, haphazard. Probably going to be in those moments where they're going to have to bite those fingers and be like, okay, this was not anticipated at all. Now where do we go? Now what do we bring to the table that's going to be changing the entire scenario for our team? And that is something that is very well expected from Group C and D. Because again, I mean, you mentioned it as well. We've got Venom Legends right here. We've got 1952 in the squad right here as well. And that's going to make things that much more interesting to expect a lot more from those teams, because we've seen them be a part of the PMPL Season 3 as well, and we've seen them gain the experience to be able to play against those sort of teams from other regions. They have a lot more to offer, hopefully is the conversation where I'm going to draw the line, because yesterday also was the hope coming in from the side of A1 Esports lads. But sadly, they were not able to put that stop to the aggression that was being showcased against them in the lobby, sadly.
I mean, we spoke about this yesterday as well. A1 Esports, they need to respect their opponents. I mean, we know that they are used to competing at the highest tier there is in the world of PUBG Mobile. I mean, going up against the best of the best teams from China, teams from SEA, teams from all over the world, and they have performed on those stages. But here's the thing: once you come from that stage and you're competing against teams that are just trying to break in the professional circuit, you tend to get a little too overconfident about yourself. And that is, I believe, the thing that's happening with A1 Esports. The moment they start playing themselves, because you were there. I mean, you were there with us during the PMPL Season 3, and this is not the team that played there. This is not how they approach the game. I mean, the kills are the same, but the way they are making those pushes, it's totally different.
So true, so very true again, and that is something hopefully that they will try and get it changed, because again, they are done with their game as of now. Now they are going to have to look at what Group C and D are going to be bringing to the entire battleground, and then as we move on towards day number 3, which is going to be the middle ground of the battlefield, of the playing area, where after day number 3, all the teams, all the 4 groups are going to have to, go back to the drawing board to understand, all right, 3 days are done, 3 more days are remaining in the semifinals. We do have to move on along into the finals to be a part of that prize pool, the massive prize pool of the $30,000. But what should we change? That is the most crucial question, where so many of these teams and their squad leaders end up kind of, suffering a little, because again, some of them have a lot of experience, some of them don't. Some of them are wanting to take those YOLO approaches because of not having the experience. They've got nothing to lose. But again, that is what makes the game that much more challenging and interesting. With that, first game is going live. It is, of course, on Erangel, and this is when the entire saga starts.
Well, yeah, and it looks like the saga is going to start from the military island. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What happened to the trajectory right there? It just completely vanished. Uh, Alrighty. Let's see what is going to happen in this game next. Can't see the plane path anymore. Although we did see the path start from nowhere. There it is, and going all the way towards Gatka. So that is exactly what I was about to call. But it looks like are we in the Bermuda Triangle right now? Are the planes just vanishing off the radar at this point? Oh, there it goes again.
Honestly, dude, the way that is happening is just so very interesting. It is almost like the teams also are going to be utilizing this opportunity where, again, you talk about the trajectory, it is certainly moving on towards the Western Hemisphere of this map as of now. And in doing so, so many of these teams had the opportunity to actually utilize the military base, but we've only got this one team. The only one team that we've got is going to be Team IR that has apparently moved on down towards the military base. And with that, we've got the first zone being drawn as well. And alongside, onto the same island, we've got IPG as well, getting themselves comfortable towards Novoruprai.
Well, I mean, they have found themselves in a comfortable position, but it is the question of how they're going to be able to get out of that situation. Because now look at this, Novorupnoi, like the first 10 minutes in the game, I'll give them 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes inside of the game, they are going to be in a comfortable position. But what about the time when they decide to move towards the main island side? And if they decide to move through the military bridge or the Novorupnoi bridge, those positions are already under control of different teams. In fact, there are clusters present at the intersection point. So it's not going to be an easy exit for IPC Electrify, but still early game stages, they might just be able to go for a late rotation depending on how much healing utility they find themselves. On the other side, though, quite an interesting situation as the entire position of between Gatka and Query has been left completely empty. Usually, when players do like to go towards the hospital area or the southern side of Everest, the Gatka farms in the southern side of Everest, they do like to go for the split drop location and just loot the small compounds that are present in that location and then regroup. But CRYPT not off to a good start over here as one of the lads has already been knocked out in the open. No revive, it's just going to be a finish.
Absolutely, and with that, we've got BFS Esports bringing in an early first blood into the game. It's only 3 minutes in right now, and this is looking perfect because once again, as you so mentioned, Johnny, the CRYPT does not, the player from CRYPT does not have any support around him, and that does bring to the question: where exactly are the lads from this team? How far have they made that drop location to be? Because was their plan to be this separated, or has it turned out to be just the way that it is for this game and it is just a sad state of affairs? Do not know, because again, on the other side, we are looking at this team of PFS Esports who have joined into the lobby with only 3-man squad. A 3-man army is what they bring to the table, which right off the bat in the first 3 minutes itself is looking most certainly in this team's favor.
Well, I mean, for now, yes. And BSFS, it's a 3-man squad, but still, just the fact that they already have one kill secured, they were able to sort of send a message, send a threat to the team that was trying to close in, can actually work out in their favor. Over on the other side, though, I would love to see what is happening on towards the Milta side of things, the Milta city, the area that's there between farm and Milta, that position as well, because there were like 2 or 3 teams, if I remember correctly, when we were having a look at the map in that location, and that is quite an open area. So possibility of collisions is there as well. Let's see if that happens.
Absolutely, mate. For now, we are certainly going to be bringing ourselves back towards the squad of BFS Esports as they make that decent rotation for themselves with a decent looking loot as well going to be working for them. Now we go on to the side of NRZ. This is going to be the team that is going to be NRZ Esports. They have all 4 squad members in the lobby, which is really good, but at the same amount of time they should probably look forward to getting themselves another vehicle as well, they're all hunkered down in this one vehicle, which is probably not a good approach. But again, this is the initial few stages of the game, so perhaps we'll give them that leeway. But eventually, hopefully, they do end up getting. Yep, there we go. We've got another lad, Tutul, who seems to have found another car for the another vehicle for the squad, and that's going to be working in their favor as they get themselves comfortable towards the southern part of farm region. And once again, I mean, this is neat because when you talk about yesterday's game, we noticed Group A and B get into some early skirmishes, some early aggression and aggressive stances. Right off the bat, within the first 5 minutes, we had at least seen 3 to 4 kills. Whereas this time around in Group C and D, we are looking at a slow-paced game, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, it is good. Early stages, specifically in circle like these, where it is going to stick to the main island, you never want to take those early fights because you know once you start reaching those open areas of towards the side of Gatka or the southern side of Pochinki, you will have to cross Pochinki at some point. You will need those numbers to be in your favor so that you can have eyes out in every single direction. If you're lacking players, then that means your vision and your information from one side is not coming, and that can be detrimental to the team's performance inside of the game. So having the numbers is definitely going to be a good thing. Slowing things down, thinking about decisions and how you want to approach the rotations is something that teams are definitely doing really, really well. One of the teams that needs to do that even better is going to be IR, because again, how do you cross the bridge? That is their first challenge.
That is most certainly going to be true. And with that, they are also a team who we see with those 3-man squad. And that is going to be a crucial thing as to how they play it out based on the previous, or rather the next remaining rounds of the game, the next remaining zones of the game. With that, we move on towards the side of GTX right here. And this is going to be, of course, GTxBeatDrop, who are looking once again pretty comfortable as far as their loot for the moment is concerned. All the teams for the moment are going to be just focusing on getting that perfect loot that they can be comfortable with before they get into those aggressive stances. And those aggressive stances are probably going to get started off by the 10-minute marker. As we can clearly see right now, we've got the team of KSX right here, who have found themselves a compound. They know that there was another team making a rotation right in front of them, and this is where we could maybe, just maybe, see an early little knocks. Maybe not. Yep, Tutul is certainly on the receiving end for the moment, but the team has certainly decided to rush along from that scenario, and the team is going to be able to get out of there no problem at all. Coming back to the squad of course, KSX right here. This team is also going to be bringing a lot to the table because, well, I mean, till now, the games that they've given us have been really entertaining.
Yeah, definitely a lot of entertainment from this team, and I believe it is not going to stop as one of the vehicles, the buggy, was being taken out by Shakil. And is he actually going to go for it? I believe he is trying to get close to the players of NRZ, but that is not a good decision. He is going to be outnumbered. His teammates are still standing their ground in the compound. It is going to be a 1v2 situation. So what happened was Tutul got knocked out because he took an exit from the vehicle that was moving too fast. But Shakil, he makes it, and Tutul, he wasn't healed up yet, so he gets knocked out again. Good for him. His teammate is quite close. The smoke has already been popped. So Shakil, if he does not realize that there are two players and not just one lad that was knocked out, he can be in some serious trouble. NRZ 2v1 situation. The numbers are in their favor. If they have utility, they can do this. But Shakil, oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. The nade, if it lands in the right spot, can take the lads down. But no. And now Shakil has to deal with two players that are already healed up. KSX providing a wonderful cover fire as if he was able to take down a 47 down to his knees. And RZ's Ranger on the other side is being brought down as well. And KSX, I believe they have this fight in the bag already. They are getting those knocks. They're definitely dealing with the situation really, really nicely.
Exactly, and that was just perfect approach coming in from the side of Sakil right here for the side of KSX. But with that, we've got Static being the first team that has been sent back into the lobby with, I believe, only that one kill that they were able to get. But eventually, now talking about kills, it is this team of KSX who have rushed on along with a really good stance that they've gotten themselves in, and now are going to be trying to get as many points as they possibly can from this fight. Till now, we can see that they are trying at their level best, but thankfully, somehow along the lines is, of course, NRZ's players who are holding their ground pretty comfortably. They were, KSX players were able to walk away with that 1 point, but that is all NRZ is going to be giving given. Along with that, we have another team being sent back into the lobby. So yeah, exactly how was expected. 10-minute marker is where the teams are going to be rushing in and getting into those third-party situations and getting a few points distributed amongst this wonderful lobby.
Well, two sister teams being forced to take an exit together in this game. Quite unfortunate. On the other side, IPG, they actually managed to make their way towards the main island. Again, KS acts quite close to them. All right, NRZ is still actually surviving. Two players still present in this lobby, Demon and Sazid. The lads with the players of IPG right next to them. They've somehow managed to avoid the assault from KS Axe, but again, a 2v4 situation. All right, you see someone just chilling in the UAS, might as well just finish the ball. Is that a smoke?
Yep, that certainly seems like a smoke to be able to cover their flanks. And whoa, seriously?
That wasn't.
That was not a smoke.
Yeah.
What? Okay, that was interesting. It seems like one of those mechanics, right? Because you've got the underarm and overarm throw, and that seems to have caught him off guard. But eventually, thankfully, the team did not end up taking a lot of damage through that. Ouch.
Luckily, he just ran back in the nick of time. Otherwise, I mean, that would just have been weird.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I think he went for the overarm throw, but he wasn't. He did not go beyond the horizon of the ridge that he was trying to throw past. So it just hit the ridge and it just stayed there. That's what happened to the nade.
That honestly, that would have been a really, really interesting moment right there. Boy. But again, I mean, thankfully they are able to get their feet on the ground and get themselves comfortably looking good with that kill confirmed for themselves as well. And it is Sadiq right here, Sadiq's OP, who is looking comfortable for the moment, but they have given away the information and they're only 2-man squad. Whereas on the other side, the team that they are trying to take down certainly is a 3-man army for the moment, and they've got the information as well. But will IPG want to push on along this front, because they seem to have a different strategy for themselves as they try and get themselves in towards the circle?
Yeah, and talk about getting in the circle. Look towards the position of 1952. Well, there are a lot of teams present. There's so many colors present towards the southeastern side of the circle. IR is moving in that direction as well. So the position towards the farm split area, that is going to be so chaotic to cross right now, as we do see the teams start to move out slowly and steadily. The players from 1952 are slowly and steadily moving forward. But are they going to be able to make it to the other side? That's going to be a really big question. On the other side, the IPG, the squad that has just been reduced to a 3-man roster now, is moving ahead, and Marshall, I believe he has spotted out the players of NRZ.
Most certainly that is true, and NRZ are the ones who are going to be rushing alongside IPG's players as they've got that 1 kill. But what do we have here? It is Venom who is going to be spotting both of these teams as they try and make that rotation, and Nightwing and Rafa, who might be able to bring in a little bit of damage. Thankfully, NRZ's players were able to get away from that situation, but once again, we do know that IPG's following exactly in the same corridor, and it is Dictator right here, not looking in a comfortable buggy, really slowed down, the only man, but thankfully, he's not in the crosshairs of either Venom Legends or NXT, and that is perfect. The team does end up making that rotation for themselves.
Well, definitely. And talking about rotations now, everyone will be stuck in the open because, I mean, the circle is in the open area towards the western side of Pochinki. It will be those hills that you will have to conquer again and again as you move forward. But on our screens right now, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the teams that everyone wants to see. Venom Legends, 4-man roster, still holding strong. The players of NRZ have been spotted out. On the other side, KS Axe taking a fight against VSeSports. Fahim knocked out and finished off. Sanhok was taken down in a trade, but Ifty right next to him, the revive should happen. They have to move away from the US as they are doing in order to avoid the blast that might have just happened. Sanhok needs to fall back even more in order to just be careful from anyone from the side of VSeSports if they try and go for a cheeky flank.
Exactly, and Witcher, it seemed like from the side of VS was trying to get into a flanker situation, but that's not the case. They seem to be backing out of that scenario and getting themselves into the comfort of a compound. That's going to be working for them now. Right here, of course, going back to the King of the Hill situation, we do have NRZ, the first team that was able to make that rotation right in front of the crosshairs of Venom Legend, but Venom Legend is not going to fall back. They do see the vehicle, they know exactly the shack to keep their crosshairs gazed down towards, but alongside all of this, when you talk about the circle, the other thing that's working for the side of Venom Legends is going to be that they are once again pretty much in the center of the circle.
Well, definitely, and that is how the tables have turned in the favor of IPG. Look at them, quite close to the center, as you said, but I believe they have a really, really nice position. But the pressure on them, if they can deal with it from KS Axe right there, if they can deal with that fight, they can walk away. All right, it wasn't KS Axe, it was Venom Legends actually that was close to them. So they have to deal with that team because once again, one of the strongest teams in the lobby right now, and them being taken out, if Venom Legends are taken out, that means a big threat just disappears, and especially if that threat is quite close to you, that's the first thing you want to do. On the other side, though, Laylock from CRYPT, what just happened to him?
Well, they seem to be stuck in a bit of a battle that they do not want to be part of, because on the other end was VS's two players, the two-man army that is still surviving, and bring that conversation towards the Venom Legend squad. They have their crosshairs. Nightwing right here has his crosshairs set towards the two players. I mean, he's got a lot of information being on top of that hill. This team has information at least on 3 teams for the moment, and they are in the circle, and that is going to be working in the favor, along with the, of course, height advantage that they have being on top of that hill. That is going to be raining down bullets towards these teams. But how exactly are IPG, as well as, of course, TRZ going to be getting themselves out is the question for the moment. Of course, they're looking comfortable in the circle, but talking about IPG, now IPG do know that they have Venom Legends up top, but that does not stop them from dishing out damage towards the other teams on the other tangent of the map that they have information towards. And it is going to be TRZ's players who are being stopped from giving that revival. Dictator, he seemed like he was in a tricky situation as he made that rotation in front of Venom Legends crosshairs, but eventually he's the one who seems to be also working towards getting those points. And whoa, ouch situation for the side of Tofik from 1952 right now.
Well, just ran into that one right there, and it is going to be a very, very big ouch if Tofik does not make it. Chances of that happening are actually pretty high. He was too far away from his teammates, and I believe he has been. All right, he is going to get finished off soon. That's just going to leave 2 players from the side of 1952 still surviving. There it is, Tofik getting finished off. Just 2 lads remaining from that team. On the other side, IPG Dictator actually doing a wonderful job of just chipping down on his teammates, not teammates, I'm sorry, his opponents in the distance, using the Mini 14 to perfection, just individual tap shots. So in case a skirmish does occur, they won't be healthy enough to actually sustain the entirety of the fight. Can work out in any team's favor that goes on to engage against the opponents, but for now, IPG doing a wonderful job again holding on to this compounds. They have to do this. They are in the middle of a lot of teams that are surrounding them. It's not going to be an easy exit when they have to move out of these compounds. Heaven on the other side, KS Axe spotted out, 1952 spotted out. Will he be able to get a single finish?
Eesh, this is turning into quite an interesting turn of events. As you were discussing when we got into this circle, it is going to be an open circle for so many of these teams, and now it has been confirmed that when you move on towards this shift, it is not going to be favoring any of the teams, but so close to Venom Legends once again. And we saw as soon as the circle shifted, Venom Legends were getting in their vehicles to get themselves in towards the zone that much more comfortably. Now IPG, they are not in the circle. They have given away their information based on the compound that they were shooting from, and now are going to have to get away from the safety of this net and get themselves heard and known in the 360 area that they are, and that is going to be an interesting turn of events as to how they do so. Dictator has been focused towards getting those points, getting those bullets converted into points towards TRZ, but has not been able to successfully do so thus far. But there are going to be a lot of third parties as we get into the circle, as the teams rather try and get into the circle, because this is going to be an all-out war for so many of these teams.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is an all-out war already, and in that war, GTxBeatDrop are not doing so well. Down to the last surviving player, no point secured for the team. All right, we have 1952 taking an exit as the last two players are also finished off. And as I was talking about earlier, TRZ on the other side are doing really, really well. They have 7 kills secured. Three players still surviving on their feet. One player knocked out, but I believe the revive is going to happen. There it is. So now 7 kills, all 4 players, and they are playing to their strengths. A couple of seconds earlier on, we did see them under a lot of pressure. This was what I was about to talk about. IPG just pinning them down completely, and TRZ, they stayed. They were patient. They were like, we are not going to move until we find an opening, and now they have found it. They are moving from the backlines. They first moved behind KSX, and now they're going to try and make their way inside the circle. On the other side, the Exentric Infinity Shoycott, will he make it into the open fields?
He's certainly trying. He most certainly was trying right there. And along with this, we see TRZ's players just given in that perfect approach to the game. It is going to be dishing out a lot of damage, that fifth circle rather. But in that, move on towards the side of IPG. IPG were looking comfortable from this compound and were bringing down a lot of those kills and a lot of those shots. But eventually are going to be able to get those points as well for themselves. With that, we've got 8 teams remaining. We are in 22 minutes pretty much, and 5th circle upon us, bringing down these teams slowly because of this open war that is being taken place on the farm region for now. And wow, this team I completely missed out on. This team IR is looking really confident with 6 defeats in their name. All 4 lads still alive. They've got the cars, they've got the covers, and NRZ taking an exit in this game for the moment, bringing us down to 6 teams remaining.
Well, 6 teams remaining, 17 players still alive in this game. KSX, oh, they have 9 kills, make that 11 as IPG will also be finished off. Try to make the run for it, try to run towards the circle, but just taken out in the middle of the tracks. IR, as you mentioned, I mean, we completely missed out on the team. They were so stealthy. They started off on the military island, somehow managed to make their way towards the main island, and now they find themselves in the top 5 with 6 kills, in fact, and all 4 players alive. They are the only team right now with all 4 players to their name. On our screens right now, BFS was a 3-man squad at the start of the game, now off to a 2-man squad, and they still don't want to stop. They just have 1 kill, so they want to make sure that they at least secure a few kill points before they take an exit from this match.
Absolutely, and now Venom, as they try and get themselves in the circle, is where things are going to be looking real difficult for them, because Team IR is well equipped and prepared to take care of this rotation coming in from the side of Venom. When it comes to their lads, Rafat we see has almost made it to the circle, but in all of this, Venom Legends still have 3 points to themselves only compared to the other teams that are looking that much more uncomfortable. And in that, Team IR is not stopping. They just want to keep on bringing those points for themselves. And it is, well, sadly, Team BF that we saw initially that started off with a 3-man squad that is at the receiving end, that is probably going to be brought down to a 1-man army for the moment. But still, again, I mean, they're going to be able to walk away with some decent amount of points, so that's going to be good for the side of BMG. But now this is going to be 4 teams remaining: Venom Legends, IREX, KSX, and BMGX.
Well, 4 teams, 10 players. KSX definitely doing a wonderful job, still just carrying on the domination that they have brought forward with them in this matchup. 11 kills to them if they can secure all the other points that are lying on the floor right now. I mean, this is going to be a wonderful first game for the team. But Venom Legends, Nightwing just shutting down the last remaining player from BMG. Naeem is going to be picked off down to the top 3. Venom Legends have been spotted out by Fragger from the side of IR. He went for a few shots with the M4, but wasn't really able to connect anything. On the other side, this is a triple threat matchup. Nightwing just spotting out one of the players from IR again. I believe it was Codex who was taken down, but it is not going to be an easy job to wipe out the entire team. Although it's not going to be easy for the other 2 teams, KSX and IR, to take on Venom Legends. They have the priority of the circle.
They most certainly do as of now. And again, I mean, this is where Team IR is really being caught off guard because the circle does not favor anybody. We know that for a fact. And right now, when you talk about the circle, it is pushing all these teams to get into a gladiator mode-esque sort of a gameplay because, well, there's no cover pretty much. There are a few vehicles around, but again, to be able to get those vehicles distributed, or rather, IR is making a decent, or Fraggo from IR is certainly trying to make a decent push towards the side of that perfectly set up crate. Now that could be good. That could be a really good cover as they get themselves in the circle, and that's exactly what we're seeing from the side of Fraggo. He is certainly going to be able to get that cover working for him. But now, where is IR's Hex getting him in? Because they do not realize that there is a team right next to them that's going to be KSX.
Well, yeah, and it is going to be a really, really unpleasant surprise for the team when they start getting picked off. KSX, they find themselves in a really, really interesting position. If they can finish off IR, they have the momentum strong enough to actually go for a fight against Venom Legends. But Shaquille has been knocked out from KSX, and well, he will be finished off as well as Nightwing goes on to secure that kill. Oh, this was a trap. This was a trap that was laid out by the players of Venom Legends. They just wanted KSX to come into an even worse position, be completely vulnerable to the assault from Venom Legends. And well, I believe it is now to close time to close out this game. It's a 3 versus 1 situation. Cube is moving forward towards his eventual demise, and there it is. He's going to get picked off. Last player surviving from KSX. It's going to be Mehraz, ladies and gentlemen, in a 1v3 situation against the players of Venom Legends. And I believe he has decided that he just wants to, well, deny his kill. So 3, 2, 1, and there it is. Venom Legends securing the first chicken dinner of the day.
Wow, what a cheeky play that was coming in from the final lad of KSX. But indeed, I mean, I really do want to question that push coming in from Fraggo. He was looking so comfortable had he just made a stop at that perfect crate that was waiting for him to be the cover. But boy, oh boy, it was the gameplay that eventually did end up favoring Venom Legends. And as you had mentioned, this team were looking really comfortable, really looking confident as we got down into those final circles, being at top of the top of that hill, worked in their favor. They had so much of information, and the way they moved that, made that push into the zone, just perfect annihilating play. Just what is needed from this team to showcase to the lobby, hey, you know what, we've got a lot more experience, lads. It's gonna take a little while.
Yeah, exactly. And Venom Legends, I mean, amazing performance from them. Look at this. So just one game played, and they are already inside the top 8. 24 points to this team. Amazing performance, but they still have 3 matches to. I would love to see them in the top 3, sitting in the top 3 after the 4 games, if they continue to play like this. Again, it is quite opposite to how we see the other squads playing. Even 1952 this time. Don't know what happened over there, why it was a 3-man roster inside of the game, because that is also one team that everyone is hoping to see bring their A game into the lobby. Again, sort of can call them defending champions, former champions would be the right word, in fact, because this is where their journey started.
Exactly, that is so true indeed, and in that they have showcased that they do have a lot more hidden under the hood. You know, it's just about slowly letting it out, and that's what 1952 does pretty much always. But boy oh boy, this was a wonderful start between Group C and D matches, and it has been an interesting, I mean, of course, we'll move on down towards the match ranking is where it will become that much more clear, but just over the head, it does seem like there was a lot of kills being distributed in the first 5 to 7 placement teams of the lobby. So that is a good turn of events from the 16 teams that played. And again, I mean, in that, you have to talk about the team. That was, of course, BMG. That was a 3-man squad. Ended up being in the top 4 to top 5 scenario. Perfect play. But before we do so, we do have to bring up MVP. That's going to be Venom Legends Nightwing with 4 kills, 995 damage, with 2 assists as well. I mean, again, talking about the top of the hill situation, this lad had his crosshairs towards 2 individual teams at the same point of time.
Yeah, definitely a wonderful performance from Nightwing, and it has been a while. It has been a while since we've seen him pop off this hard for his team, and it's always amazing. But as you were talking about the squad of BFS, I want to talk about this team, KSX, Ifti, Shakil. nothing you could do inside of the game to actually stop these players from running into your squad and finishing you off, apart from just like nading yourself and taking yourself out. Incredible performance from the entire team. TRZ Atomic as well. Look at that, 4 kills in 19 minutes 34 seconds. That was a survival time and 660 damage by that individual. So top players in this match are pretty deadly, and all of them have 4 kills.
Exactly. It sets a marker. It sets a marker for the entire lobby. But with that, let's have a look at the match ranking coming in, where it is the kills department that have resulted in KSX moving on to, to bring it down to 24 points for themselves. Exactly same to Venom Legends, who did get the chicken dinner but had only 9 kills. Now, going back to the way KSX approached that final few moments of their play. Dude, I so wish Fragger would have stopped there. The team had 3 players alive.
Yeah.
They had all the opportunity to be able to bring down Venom Legends and could have been their game. But nevertheless, they are looking pretty comfortable with the points that they've got.
Well, definitely, they look they look at a really strong position. But I would like to see the difference between the two teams, KSX and Venom Legends, as far as the overall standings are concerned. Because I mean, we did see in the team's closing game card that Venom Legends will be sitting on the 8th position. KSX, are they going to be 7th? Are they going to be 9th? Where is that team going to start from? Because that sort of that is going to be like deciding how the pressure is going to be on the team, how the pressure is going to look like on the team in the next 3 matches.
That is so true, mate. That is so true. Because again, I mean, when you talk about the second upcoming game, we are going to be moving on to down towards the map of Sanhok now, and that is going to be an aggressive stance that these teams are going to have to put in to. Well, of course, they've created the teams, both the teams that we're talking about, of course, Venom Legends as well as KSX, who've created a wonderful lead point for themselves just based off of the first game. But they do want to be able to maintain that lead and slowly keep working on it to get themselves probably as close to the top 3 as possible. And that is going to be based on consistency that they bring to the table.
Well, definitely. And talk about bringing stuff to the table. Let's have a look at the Oppo F19 Pro moment. This, I felt like, was a questionable decision from KSX. Things could have gone south, but I mean, the team knew exactly what they were doing. They were prepared for the assault, and they just like destroyed NRZ right there, bringing them down to the 2 remaining players.
Exactly, and that push coming in from the side of Exentric as well. That was a really neat one, but
Yeah.
sadly, by the time they made it to the compound itself, right, they were slowly and steadily brought down to, I think, a 3-man squad was brought down to a 1-man army, pretty much. And had they had more players, it could have been a different affair altogether. But the way that compound itself was held down from that team was beautiful to see. But boy, oh boy, that's just first game. A lot of moments, a lot of action that took place throughout the entirety of this. They've got the open moments taken care of. Will we be able to see the overall ranking? I don't know. Will we be able to move and find out where do these teams stand for now or not? I do not know.
I believe we will. I believe we will have a look at the overall rankings. Might be now or before the next game. I mean, it all depends on how things work out. But stats for Venom Legends do look impressive after just 1 game. But again, what can they look like after 4 games? That is going to be the question. We want to see what happens when every single team is at the same footing and when all the players have their 4 matches completed, because that is going to be like the perfect, as you mentioned, middle ground for a comparison for these players and these teams.
Absolutely, mate. With that, we've got the first game taken care of, lads. You sitting back at home, do not forget to chime into the chat and let your teams know that you support them. You've got the support for them. And again, do share that love with those teams. With that, we're going to be going on a very, very short break, after which, of course, is going to be the next game that will be played on Sanhok between these 2 groups.
I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the dust, if you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
PUBG Mobile, Godzilla vs. Kong. All new collaboration, live now. In the latest version of PUBG Mobile, players may encounter titans during a match, just like in the movies. Let's learn more about the all-new game modes, shall we? Titan Strikes. The Titan Strikes mode introduces 3 titans to Erangel, Sanhok, and Livid. Godzilla and Kong move along designated routes across the map. Players can chase after them in vehicles, but if you get too close, you'll be knocked down and take damage. When Titans get ready to unleash a heat ray, the system will prompt players to leave the red zone marked on the minimap. Players equipped with high-level armor receive reduced damage from the heat ray. Titans will absorb energy which emanates gradually from the earth. Once the energy reaches a certain threshold, Titans release it and create Titan crystals around them. Different types of Titan crystals provide different effects. Erangel's blue Titan crystals are special throwable items that players can equip. They knock back and burn enemies who are behind cover. Sanhok's gold Titan crystals enhance players' abilities, making you run faster and jump higher. Livik's red Titan crystals give players the ability to detect enemies nearby for a brief period of time. These enhancement items give players an edge in battle. Use them and bring the chicken dinner home. With the help of Titan crystals, players have even more unique tactics to achieve victory. Godzilla and Kong roam Erangel and Sanhok respectively, and players may bump into them on Spawn Island. Players can preview the Titan's route on the minimap, along with Apex Cybernetics, and low, mid, and high-level monster settlements. Apex Cybernetics are scattered along the Titan's route, which contains many valuable supplies. However, players can only enter the facility after a Titan has destroyed the base. Players that arrive early will not be able to get into the highly fortified Apex camp. At the same time, defeating different monster settlements rewards good supplies. Monster settlements are mainly occupied by lizards and crabs. Players can use a diversion to divide and conquer. The monsters are big, so using a shotgun at close range can deal huge damage. Players must also be wary of the Titan's attacks. Although they're not hostile towards players, they get irritated when there's too many players around. The Titan on Livik has unique electromagnetic abilities that affect the blue zone and cause it to shift every once in a while. Now, players must pay constant attention to the new play zones and transfer immediately when they begin to shrink, as to ensure they're not swallowed by the blue zone. Furthermore, Mechagodzilla periodically scans an area of the safe zone and marks the locations of everyone in the area on the minimap. This urges players to transfer or engage their enemies. Players must be extra careful. The Titan Strikes game mode is based on Battle Royale. Players must strive to be the last one standing amidst battling other players and Titans. With the addition of Titans, players are ready to witness their majesty and get their hands on the mysterious Titan crystals. Enjoy the all-new Titan Strikes and experience the earth-shattering might of the Titans.
Yeah, we got it, we did it! I know you'll be there for me.
I'll always be here.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Campus Championship Bangladesh Region 2021, brought to you by the Oppo F19 Pro. My name is Warren Super Johnny John, joined by Trooper, and well, match number 2 is live, so we will be jumping right into the action now. And Trooper, let's just let you take over the vanishing plane that we have in this game right now.
Yep, it's over, Corey, and the plane path is just appeared in front of us, right? And the plane is crossing boot camp, and the players are moving towards the drop location. This is Group C and Group D action here in front of us, and we have already seen the game number 1. So let's see how these teams are going to play in this game. What are your suggestions, and what are you expecting from this game, Johnny?
I mean, I have no idea what to expect from this match. I'm just going to wait for the circle to actually pop up before we make our assumptions or we try and predict how this game is going to go about. But was it just me, or did you see it as well? The plane appearing and disappearing out of existence. It happened in Erangel. It's happening on Sanhok as well. And talking about Sanhok, I mean the circle is smack in the center of the map.
Yup, completely. And yes, the plane is vanishing here. This is a new aspect of what I don't know, but yep, that is happening. And this beautiful, beautiful first circle almost cutting through the entire edges of the map, of the land area of Sanhok, from Lakavi to Nakam, to the area of Khao as well. This is a brilliant way to cross, to like touch all the shores of the map of Sanhok.
Yeah, definitely. And this sort of puts almost every single team inside of the game in a really comfortable position, since majority of the drop locations are in the circle right now. So nothing for anyone to worry about. I believe we are not off to the races, ladies and gentlemen. We will have a slow game of Sanhok in front of us.
Definitely, a very slow game of Sanhok, and it is going to be pretty important because we know in Sanhok it's always not possible to get those 15, 16 kills. Not in every game, it might happen sometimes, but it's not possible for all the teams to get a lot of kills in just one game. So the placement points are going to be the majority aspect for the teams that they are going to rely on. So we'll see which of the teams are going to end up in the final circles, and for that you need maximum number of players that you can carry inside the final circle. So it is going to be a pretty slow start here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you mentioned, you would like the fact that you have almost the entire team in that final circle fight. But let's see how things are going to happen. So far, BMG, it looks like they've spotted out a team in the backside of boot camp towards the triple warehouses. And Naeem is just trying to see if he can keep an eye on his opponents, just like not engage, but have the information as to where they are exactly.
Yep, definitely. And just like Bad Intentions was a team that was playing yesterday, we had our eyes on that team from the very first day of the tournament. And same goes for the team of BMG as well. We have been watching this team, the guy Musketeer as well from the day one, and he's been a decent performer throughout the quarterfinal stages as well. So this is the stage. This is the stage where they need really to perform and like bring the A game out so that they can go ahead to the finals. And it's going to be interesting to see how they are going to go ahead.
Well, definitely, and how this team is going to move forward, it's going to be really, really critical, because now the first match is gone. This is the second game. If they mess up this game as well, then it's just 2 more matches remaining, and that is going to be a lot of pressure that the team will have to perform under. TRZ, all right, let's talk about this. The first game, they tried the level best. I mean, up until the middle game point, up until the 15-minute marker, they had like 8 kills, but then all of a sudden they just got taken out. Like the entire team wiped out in a second. Would not like to repeat the same mistake this time around. I mean, it's a fresh start. Again, the level of aggression that they had in the last game was good, but just slow it down a notch in the early game stages.
Yep, you never know which world record they're eyeing this time. I would be just waiting to see what they are going to do. But it was a pretty impressive performance, the way they impressed us during the quarterfinals. And I believe they got 10 out of 7 chickens, 7 out of 10 chickens out there. But here you have 12 games that this group is going to play. So let's see what is the team going to accomplish over here.
Well, let's see what the team is going to accomplish and how they're going to move forward. Static Tribe NRZ, first to take an exit in the last match, no point secured. will be looking to redeem themselves in this match already, will be looking to secure at least some points. And this is going to be an interesting game. So 16 teams, 63 players alive in this match. Sanhok not off to a start that we expect from the map. I mean, by this time, we do expect at least one squad to already get wiped out, but no, it's just one player that has been taken out. Another one was knocked out. Let's see if the finish can be secured or not.
Yep, it is going to be, and TRZ it is that have got one more point in their tally already. But look at what we have here on our screens: the team of 1952, and with that FS added to the name already. We'll see how this team moves on into the later stages of the tournament, that they have qualified for the finale stages as well for the PMPL. So it's a pretty good practice stage for them as well. But the importance of this stage in the semi-final, that is the right amount of pressure they are putting themselves into. So I would really be interested and watch closely how this team specifically is going to play here.
Well, definitely. I mean, we are going to try and see how the team is going to behave, how they are going to perform. Over on the other side, the double airdrops dropping into the map will be making things quite interesting, as one of them did contain that Groza in them. TRZ, well, not looking to switch things anymore, just taking the fight. And they have knocked down Terra 404 from the side of CRYPT. Mamba was the man who got the knock. White Cat gets the finish already. It was someone else other than Mamba who got the knock, actually. And they have managed to secure the finish over there. So CRYPT in a lot of trouble, but TRZ need to be careful. Look, 1952 are closing in on their direction.
Yeah, definitely. And this is just the area towards the western side of Quarry. This is the high ground that they have hold up right now. So it's towards the center of the map, Johnny. So I think they also need to be aware of teams coming in from multiple directions. And as we can see, they're moving away from the high ground. So at this point, I would like to believe that this is a pretty smart decision to take.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is a smart decision. Just disengaging before they get sandwiched, before they get third partied, and moving into a better position. I mean, rotation and positioning is the most important thing in the game. If you manage to find yourself into those compounds, or if the priority is the high ground and you manage to reach the high ground first, then you can just gatekeep other teams. You don't have to worry about the circles. You don't have to worry about moving around. All you have to worry about is those gunfights. And at the level at which these players play, I mean, this is the professional scene that they are breaking into at this point. Everyone knows how to take those gunfights. Everyone has the gun power to deal with. I mean, just 1v3 out of nowhere, or maybe even pull off a 1v4. So these players are incredible with those things. It is just those small little things that can make or break the game for these teams.
And those are the nerves, right? And that also plays the part at this
Yeah.
level. And you're absolutely right when you say that the skill set of the players are almost like the same, and they can outshine at any point any player out of the 64 that are playing here. But it's when it comes down to these crucial moments, and the IGLs are tested in this sort of a tournament, in these sort of the matches, especially in the maps like Sanhok or Miramar, where you don't have an idea about all the other teams so much. Like about Erangel, you always get an idea about the team, what they are trying to do. But when it comes to Sanhok, you really need a very good homework if you want to find out what these other teams are doing. So the IGLs are always not 100% sure about what challenges they are going to put their teams into, and that is why it becomes very crucial.
Well, it is going to be really, really crucial as well in this game, but not something that the teams are not used to.
Yep.
Although quite unfortunate. I mean, I don't know why I just said quite unfortunate, but almost going to be the 10-minute mark, and still there are all 16 teams. Someone needs to take a fight. This is getting way out of hand. First circle, no fights taken. That means, I mean, post 15-minute mark, it is going to be a really, really tough challenge for anyone to survive.
Yeah, surely it is going to be. And coming back to that same topic, that we are mean people, right? We want teams to get
Yeah.
eliminated. But considering the point of view of these players, they want to stick in there. They want to go to the final circle, each and every one of the 16 teams. But that is not going to be possible, right? Because there's a lot of demolition that is going to happen. And and what better than this new improved into 4-9 that is going to land on the surface here, and the players of NRZ quite close, so it definitely we are going to see the M249 in action now.
Well, M249, a wonderful, wonderful weapon. And it's not just that, it's the ghillie suit present in this
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, surely. That is going to be an amazing, amazing thing. If you get that combo into Fortnite with that ghillie suit, if you can get that to the final circle, your job is like 50% done there.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing. You have to make it past the final circle. But let's see how things are gonna go. I wonder what's happening to VS Esports. Almost every other team has managed to make it inside the circle right now. On the other side, VS Esports, for some reason, decide they still want to stick towards the Shami area. That is a really, really late rotation. It can backfire for the team, so they have to be super, super careful with how they move forward. All right. So, along with VS Esports
Yep.
moving forward, it is going to be all the other teams. While VS Esports, they somehow try their best to make it to the edge, the other teams will already be looking forward to move towards the center of the circle.
Yep, interesting that point about VS Esports, Johnny. Because yesterday also in a game we saw, and Blotter did notice a team, SLX Deadshot making a very late rotation, but they were the part of the final four. So that was an interesting decision that eventually went into the favor of that team. I would be really interested to see how the things are going to shape for VS Esports and Sanhok. Because when it comes to the stage of the fifth or sixth circle, there's not a lot of time that is there in the hands of the players, right? So it closes pretty quickly. And being so much away from the circle at this point, I would really like to see how they are going to play in the fifth or the sixth zone if they manage to go there.
Yeah, definitely. But look at this. Oh no. I mean,
Oh,
the Bulu was completely still. It took him like what? Oh, I believe it's just like a little over 1 second to switch the weapon, but that is enough time to land a few bullets in your opponent's head. And his opponent from the side of Four Axis is completely missing the opportunity that was handed to him. Four Axis will get punished for it. It was a
Dev-
4v3 situation in their favor. Now it's a 2 versus 4 against them.
Definitely, and the BFS they are looking good, and they've given significant damage to 4Axis right now. And 4Axis is a team, and they're playing a bit of passive right now. I think they could have committed a bit more to this fight, but Slow Cheetah here with his two teammates. Let's see what they're going to do here, because I think 4Axis is playing a bit passive, and BFS might just come on top here.
Yeah, I mean, there is an opportunity for the team to come out on top. But again, if Four Axis can make a mistake, so can BFS.
Yep.
That is going to be the thing right here. And it is all going to be about landing your shots and making sure that they hit their mark. Or for Four Axis, from their perspective, it is going to be about the fact if they can disengage or not.
Yep. Let's see if they can disengage or not. But right now, Ritnix is holding up an angle, and all the players of PFS are on the other side of that compound. But that is the mistake because TRZ is also present nearby. They have successfully given some damage, but in the close range inside the house, BFS Bulu takes down one more player. So this is a really good performance coming in for him. Now the last player, Beast, gets into action. He's got one player down, and this is the moment where BFS is looking to outshine here. But still, this is a knock. I believe I thought he was the last player, Beast, but that is not the case. His last player is being eliminated by that AKM. So that is it. The first team to get out of here is 4X's.
Yeah, Four Axis the first team to take an exit, and TRZ getting the finish. TRZ almost turned the fight around in their favor. Four Axis had they been a little bit more patient, they could have just capitalized on the fact that TRZ was dishing out damage to BFS, and then they could have taken the fight, wiped out the team, and then eventually they would have been taken out by TRZ because TRZ just took down BFS right after they finished off Four Axis.
Definitely. And when we were speaking about VS Esports, right, the circle decided to move towards them. The shift of this third zone is completely towards the southwest side from which side they were approaching. So VS Esports is just going to enter the new zone, but they're going to find themselves inside the third zone as well, just touching the city of Painan as we saw in the map right now. So that is something that is going to play in their favors. Let's see how they're going to do. But right now we have Team Exentric Infinity in front of us. CY is here, TRZ quite close to them. So this is a situation developing, and already 3 kills here for CY. So he is bagging a lot of confidence in this game. So let's see how things turn out for him.
Yeah, definitely. C1, although, I mean, this is not going to be easy. TRZ is a deadly team, and you can definitely, I mean, going up against a 4v4 fight with TRZ is not easy. This is going to be a 1v4 situation. The moment C1 gets spotted out, I'm pretty sure he's going to be finished off. Let's see if how this works out. He is in a really, really bad position right now, just hiding behind that rock for cover.
Yep, not a good position at all to be. But let's see what sort of impact. And look at that, he's got a knock on Atomic over here, but nothing to be worried about. He's just completely outnumbered, and Mamba is also going to move in towards that direction for any sort of support if a push comes in. But we got to understand that other players of Excentric are also like coming in, and they are trying to hunt the team of TRZ. So this is going to be interesting. As after the new update, as you told me, Johnny, these players don't have any idea what the opposition is there in front of them.
I mean, yeah, you just get to see team number, player number getting knocked out up until the point that you wipe out the entire squad. That is when you see who you eliminated. So uh, that is not something that I believe the players are worried about at this point. Survival is going to be key because they do see the number of players alive still, and it's the total number of players. And look at this. So we are transitioning into the fourth circle. 53 players in the fourth circle in a game of Sanhok is quite a lot.
Definitely, quite a lot of players still surviving here. So this is going to be a very chaotic final circle, fourth circle, to be honest. And just in a matter of time, the kill feed is going to run. It's going to run in a very bad way, and a lot of players are going to get eliminated. But that is the fun of it, right? You did not take early fights. You allowed a lot of higher number of players to get towards the final circle, so they are going to hurt each other eventually.
Yeah, definitely. Those final fights will be really, really chaotic. We have talked about this before as well. Let's talk about how, I mean, Exentric Infinity, they were doing so well. C-Wine just managing to pull himself out of the tough position that he was in. And now one of the teammate was knocked out. The revive has come in. But Exentric Infinity, how do you disengage against a team that has the cover, has the capability of wiping out squads after squads? It is not going to be an easy task. They have to be patient. What they can do is just wait, see where the circle moves, and based off of that, they can decide how they want to approach this fight. Because if fate would have it, the circle moves away from DRZ and they can just try and avoid the fight completely. So now the opportunity comes in. They can instead move south just a little bit, use the road that is quite close to the players of NRZ, take the fight against NRZ, and then move from there. But no, Raul has been spotted out by the players of Venom Legends. Took a nasty headshot right there, just dropping him down to around 30% HP. Is still alive though.
I like actually how the players of Exentric Infinity are like playing, and the way they have scattered themselves. They're looking to engrave the team that is inside the compound, that is TRZ right now. But getting shots from the quarry region, still they've managed to get away from that situation. So it's a pretty decent ridge that they are controlling right now. And look at that, already two of the players are inside the zone. So this is a really good move coming in from Exentric Infinity, because now the zone is going to start closing. And I like to believe that it has to do something with this player. Okay, CRYPT from even Esports, he's now part of the team and he's playing here brilliantly. So let's see what sort of impact can he bring from the experiences that he carries.
Well, definitely. What is the output or the final result going to look like? That is going to be really, really interesting. Although the players of Exentric Infinity slowly and steadily moving towards they were moving in the right direction towards the players of NRZ, but C-Vine was the only lad that was making the run, and now he has been knocked out. GTxBeatDrop closing in from the backlines. Again, their target is just making it into the circle. Redul, he's going to try and protect his teammate, move towards C-Vine, but needs to smoke off the approach position right here before he moves in. Well, quite a wonderful decision right there. And once he manages to make it towards the position of C-Wine, then he can go for revives. It is going to be an easy revive for him. There's a rock for cover as well. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, Exentric Infinity, they will be back to a four-man squad. And as we hit the 20-minute marker on Sanhok, 50 players remain. 50 players still alive in this game.
Can't
Wow.
get better, right? Can't get better
Yeah.
for Sanhok. The population here is really high in Sanhok. Let's see what this is going to do. So Shoykot with his M466 right now, trying to get hold of the pair of Venom Legends, and they are throwing nades at him. It's just a cover that he's holding up, but they're quite close to each other. One accurate nade might just take out the entire team, but that is not what is happening right now. But Shoykot is still not giving up. Towards the back end side, we can see the players of GTxBeatDrop trying to get inside the zone from the western edge, but they are not being allowed that easy passage because of the population density that is already here. And look at this, another player goes down. A trade has also been taken in. So this is a pretty amazing fight that is erupting towards the eastern edge of the zone.
Well, definitely, it is an amazing fight. But let's see how things are going to go even further, as Red Hole has been knocked out. Venom Legends, as you mentioned, they are quite close to each other. So just one grenade can wipe out the entire team. But Venom Legends, they are a force to be reckoned with. You have to be careful when you're going to try and take this fight. Thunder jumping on top of the rock to get the vision. Venom Legends under some pressure being put on them by the players of TRZ from the backlines. TRZ taking some shots from CSR. So a lot of third parties happening, but CRYPT, they are going to be eliminated from this match. 12 teams remain, 37 players still alive, and well, Exentric Infinity, they are the team with the most kills in this match so far. That is 5.
Definitely, and amazing, and this is what we expected, right? The kill feed is going to go berserk completely, and exactly what happening. Players from 1952 getting some kills out here. Venom Legends, they are just holding on to the ridge, and they have been spotted by the multiple players of Exentric Infinity as well. But Shoykot eventually goes down. He did manage to take one down, but Nightwing made sure that he stopped that QBZ from making any more damage now. But now, can they catch the zone? That is going to be the question for them, because the blue zone is also going to give them damage. This is the 5th circle that is closing in. That's a pretty high damage from the zone as well. Still 11 teams, 32 players in this action. This is an amazing Sanhok game erupting over here.
Well, definitely, it is an amazing game, and it is not going to end anytime soon. It is going to take like 3-4 minutes more, and it is not going to be an easy finish for anyone. NRZ, Static Tribe NRZ, in fact, holding on to the compounds on the northern edge of the circle. They have 2 teams. The first one that they're deciding to deal with is going to be BMG as the players try and make their approach. Oh, Stranger! His scope actually hit Musketeer for a few extra seconds. Musketeer, had he just kept on running forward, he would have made it to the other side. But no, that is not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. As BMG, they are down to their last player, who's just prone down, will be taking damage from the blue zone in a few more seconds. So Stranger is just going to look to finish him off as well.
And this is a massacre happening towards the northern side, and I can see in the kill feed that the players of KSX are also getting some kills. BMG is finally now eliminated, the last and final player coming from the side of boot camp here. He's also been eliminated there. So big game coming in for the players of for the lads for Static Tribe, who were holding up the team. So let's see how much more points they are going to add up to the tally. That is going to be the thing. But Steel Shirt, he is way far out in the blue. Just 5 first aids for him. I don't think this heal battle is going to help his cause a lot.
Well, definitely, and it can help the lad out to a certain extent. But 1952, oh, again, they made a run for it. This is 2 times in a row. First in Erangel, next in Sanhok. KSX in some trouble though, as the players from Chase the Revolution actually spot them out. The shots were on target. KSX taking a lot of damage right there, but they're still alive in this game. The players were knocked out, but no kills were secured in that scuffle. So there is a possibility of KSX. All right, now a kill has been secured, but the 2-man roster from the team still remains. In the meanwhile, Venom Legends, they take an exit down to 5 teams, 13 players, and Static Tribe NRZ, they have all 4 players. The only team that can go 2-2 against them, it is going to be Chaser Revolution. But it is not going to be an easy approach for them, as Chaser Revolution on the southern edge of the circle right now. They will have to pick off these few individuals from the side of IPG and KSX. If they leave out even one, it is not going to be an easy task. All right, so IPG getting finished off. I believe KS if he has also been finished off. And now time for the final fight.
This is Chaser Evolution doing everything that they can right now, but the zone has also supported them at this point, Johnny, and that is exactly what they wanted. Now the players of Static Tribe have to come out from the open, and they still have some sort of a compound cover to play with Chaser Evolution. This couldn't have got better for them. So, and the last player for TRZ, he's also been spotted. So this is not going to be another a chicken dinner for TRZ for sure. Let's see if Panda is going to take him with that Thompson or not. And look at that. That's did you see that, Johnny? White Cat getting the knock over the players of NRZ, and Panda has been eliminated. He was just on 1 HP, and just that delay that Panda did. Eventually, he falls down, but that is a point gifted, I would believe.
Well, definitely the point being gifted over there, and NRZ Static Tribe trying to make sure that they do not get taken out for free, just trying to secure any single point that they can in this final fight. But Chaser Evolution not allowing a single moment to breathe. Three-man squad still remains 3 versus 1 situation. Saif has been putting up a lot of, dishing out a lot of damage on that last individual from the side of Static Tribe and RZ, but he's also going to bleed out, just denying that extra point. 7 kills to Chaser Evolution and the chicken dinner to them as well. A wonderful, wonderful finish to a really, really intense game. And there it is. They managed to find themselves on the 12th position in the overall standings.
Well, after 2 games, if they did not have a really nice game, it's the perfect way you can do a comeback. 7 kills, 1100 damage. That is exactly what they wanted. 22 points from this game, and they now jump to the 12th spot. And this is exactly what they would have planned at the start of this game.
Yeah, definitely. I believe this was the best case scenario that has turned out to be a true situation for this team. And a really wonderful job. They still have 2 more matches remaining before, for them to find themselves inside of the top 8. Because again, by the end of the day, you want to finish in the top 8, top 6, even better if you can find yourselves in the top 5. That is perfect. But let's see how things are going to turn out. Although on the other side, 2 teams that were doing so well in the last match, and teams that I expected to see in the top 4 by the end of the day, failed to perform in this game. Venom Legends win there, KS Axe win there. Hopefully in the next game the teams are going to step up. But do have the MVP, and it is the man that impressed you, White Cat.
Definitely, that was not a kill for White Cat to take, and Panda should have taken him down. He should have gone there with the Thompson, but he gave that extra seconds, and the medikit was there. He was just on that magic pixel that we call, but he got that first aid popped in, got the knock, got the point for his team, and definitely, and the way he's played in the final circle, he deserved this MVP for the game.
Well, definitely, and a really amazing performance from the player White Cat right there, and Mamba from his team as well. TRZ, even in the last match, they did manage to, again, as I said, they were able to secure a lot of kills during the mid-game stages and in the early game and the mid-game stages, but mid-game stages was the end point for them. This match doing a little bit better, finishing in the top 3 with those 8 kills. Wonderful performance. Then we have Static Tribe and RZ, a good turnaround from this team compared to their last match.
Definitely, yes. 17 points in this game. It's going to help their cause a lot. And look at that, 5 teams getting 10 plus points out of this game. So this is also a really decent game for teams like KSX, Infernal Parasite. They also got 14 and 12 points, and they would be really happy with the outcome of this game, surely. But things did not go well for the teams on this page. GTxBeatDrop, look at where they are. And some big names are already stuck here. VSeSports, we talked about them. They were so late into the rotation, and they really did not help their cause. We can see where they ended, just 1 point from the game. 4 axes, they were, I believe, 2 passive against BMG, but BMG just got those 2 kills. Just 3 points for the game for them as well.
Yeah, not a performance that they thought they would have, but the opportunity to turn things around will be there for the team in the future. But Oppo moments in front of us for this game, and a really interesting match from the moment the first fight happened, from the first squad elimination to the last one. Things got really chaotic beyond the 19-minute marker.
Surely, Johnny, and this is just because of the fact that the IGLs do not want to go into that early fight. Like, when I look at the second page, the team that has come 9th has got like just 3 points out of it, 3 or 4 points.
Yeah.
If they would go for an early fight in the next game, let's say, and wipe a squad, they instantly get 4 points. That is something they are not relying on. So this is not a good sign, and I really want to see some early fights happening because that is going to help the teams a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is going to help the teams out quite a lot. But let's see overall rankings in front of us. And from this group, specifically KSX and Venom Legends find themselves in a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. Look at that 30-point difference between Venom Legends and the leaders of the overall standings, Fortune Pajamas. Then there's KSX on the 7th position with 38 points. So these two teams will definitely try their level best to make it into the top 3 or at least the top 5 by the end of the day. As we move forward, we have TRZ on the 10th position. We have Chaser Evolution on the 12th, as we did see them. Static Tribe, one bad game, one good game. Top 15 is where they are right now.
Yeah, that is a pretty decent spot to be as it looks right now. But we should remember that I think only the top 16 from this list are going to go ahead, right? So Infernal Parasite is at that spot right now. But this is the list of teams that really need to figure out things. BMG has got 2 more games remaining today from this page, Exentric Infinity. And I was pretty impressed with the way Exentric Infinity were looking to dominate. But the overall ranking is still not showing them in a pretty decent spot. Let's see how they're going to make a comeback in the remaining 2 matches.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we will keep our eye out on how this team plans to make a comeback and what things are going to look like for them in the future. They still have matches remaining. Exentric Infinity, still 2 matches to go. Maybe if they can get one chicken dinner, they do find themselves inside of the top 16 by the end of the day. But the pressure is going to be on these teams that are on the last table of the standings. Because even if you are on the 3rd chart, you still have the opportunity to climb to the top 16 before you run out of games and before it is confirmed that you're not going to be moving forward to the finals. But if you find yourself on the last chart, then the possibility of you making it to the final is going to be really less. I mean, look at this. The teams are on the single-digit marker, and it is not going to be an easy climb for them.
And it's going to break a lot of hearts for where 1952 is right now. But I would like to believe still 10 games remaining in the overall, they are going to make it into the top 16. But here are the stats for the team of Chaser Evolution. They were really outstanding in this game. After 2 matches, the damage, look at that, completely the 2 players, Siam and Tussin from the team, they are the main assaulters, and then they're getting some crucial numbers for the team.
Well, let's see. I mean, we still have matches remaining for the day, and this was just the 2nd game. 2 more matches remain for these teams to turn things around. A turnaround was there in this game as well, and hopefully things, the teams will keep things interesting in the next 2 matches as well. We have one Miramar coming up, and then, as always, one more Erangel for the day. So let's see what is going to happen. But before that, we'll take a very short break. So just stay tuned, keep watching. We'll be right back.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the dust, if you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
PUBG Mobile, Godzilla vs. Kong. All new collaboration, live now. In the latest version of PUBG Mobile, players may encounter titans during a match, just like in the movies. Let's learn more about the all-new game modes, shall we? Titan Strikes. The Titan Strikes mode introduces 3 titans to Erangel, Sanhok, and Livid. Godzilla and Kong move along designated routes across the map. Players can chase after them in vehicles, but if you get too close, you'll be knocked down and take damage. When Titans get ready to unleash a heat ray, the system will prompt players to leave the red zone marked on the minimap. Players equipped with high-level armor receive reduced damage from the heat ray. Titans will absorb energy which emanates gradually from the earth. Once the energy reaches a certain threshold, Titans release it and create Titan crystals around them. Different types of Titan crystals provide different effects. Erangel's blue Titan crystals are special throwable items that players can equip. They knock back and burn enemies who are behind cover. Sanhok's gold Titan crystals enhance players' abilities, making you run faster and jump higher. Livik's red Titan crystals give players the ability to detect enemies nearby for a brief period of time. These enhancement items give players an edge in battle. Use them and bring the chicken dinner home. With the help of Titan Crystals, players have even more unique tactics to achieve victory. Godzilla and Kong roam Erangel and Sanhok respectively, and players may bump into them on Spawn Island. Players can preview the Titan's route on the minimap, along with Apex Cybernetics, and low, mid, and high-level monster settlements. Apex Cybernetics are scattered along the Titan's route, which contains many valuable supplies. However, players can only enter the facility after a Titan has destroyed the base. Players that arrive early will not be able to get into the highly fortified Apex camp. At the same time, defeating different monster settlements rewards good supplies. Monster settlements are mainly occupied by lizards and crabs. Players can use a diversion to divide and conquer. The monsters are big, so using a shotgun at close range can deal huge damage. Players must also be wary of the Titan's attacks. Although they're not hostile towards players, they get irritated when there's too many players around. The Titan on Livik has unique electromagnetic abilities that affect the blue zone and cause it to shift every once in a while. Now, players must pay constant attention to the new play zones and transfer immediately when they begin to shrink, as to ensure they're not swallowed by the blue zone. Furthermore, Mechagodzilla periodically scans an area of the safe zone and marks the locations of everyone in the area on the minimap. This urges players to transfer or engage their enemies. Players must be extra careful. The Titan Strikes game mode is based on Battle Royale. Players must strive to be the last one standing amidst battling other players and Titans. With the addition of Titans, players are ready to witness their majesty and get their hands on the mysterious Titan Crystals. Enjoy the all-new Titan Strikes and experience the earth-shattering might of the Titans.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the dust, if you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
Hola and welcome back to, of course, PUBG Mobile Campus Championship Bangladesh region. We have just completed 2 games and it is a huge thanks to Oppo F19 Pro hashtag Wook Up Your Fun. I'm joining you again for the 3rd and the 4th game, and joining along it is going to be none other than Trooper. Dude, we got 2 games done, 2 more remain. Jumping into Miramar, what are your expectations?
It's my favorite map completely out of all the maps available in the game. So I have always have high expectations from the game. And yesterday we did the game for Miramar, and the circle played a huge curveball for the teams just outside the city of Port Parasio. Even esports was quite in a split of bother. So I would be expecting another urban finish here. Let's see if that is going to happen or not. The plane path is here for Group C and Group D right here in front of us, starting over from the area of Junkyard, ending just over the western side of the city of Montenubo. The teams are at this point moving towards the drop locations, and it's not going to pose a lot of problems for the teams to go towards their desired cities because the plane path is like evenly spread across the map.
Exactly, and it's bifurcating the map in 2 equal halves pretty much, so allowing the teams to go to whatever location they are comfortable with. But once again, as we move on through the list of all these teams, BFS, the team has constantly been tuning into these games. This is the 3rd game that once again we're looking at BFS joining in with a 3-man army. Now that hopefully they will try and fix, because even though, I mean, overall, when you talk about the team, they're looking pretty okay. But, having that 4th lad in the team will maybe increase their level of getting that many more points.
Like if you like miss out with just a few points in the end, like if you end up on the 17th or the 18th point, what are you going to think if you have played the entire
Exactly.
tournament 3 events? You just know exactly what went wrong for you. Like I've seen some lads in the beginning stages in the group of 128, in the round of 128 and round of 64. They missed out. Some teams missed out on a match or two, and eventually they were just one or two points away in the overall ranking. So it always breaks the heart for the players in such a scene. So I think BFS needs to really needs to come back with that fourth player in the next game.
Absolutely, mate. Hopefully, that is what they will do. But moving towards the map itself, we are looking at NRZ taking a really huge shift and moving on down towards ruins from the looks of it. At least that's where they seem to be going. That is going to be towards the northeastern side of the map as we look at their rotation. Talking about the other teams, we have Crypto south of south of Torre Ahmed, who seem to be getting themselves comfortable. But again, all these teams are outside the circle that I'm focusing on, and they are moving away from the circle when it comes to the first zone itself. So once again, that is something that these teams we should rather keep an eye out to these teams as to what will they be doing. But bring that conversation back towards the team BFS. Well, this is where they are at against IPG, and they are at the receiving end, sadly.
Yep, definitely. And this is just outside the city of Los Unos, and not a very good position that BFS are going to find themselves. Because let's see how the Infernal Parasites are looking to engrave these three players, because they definitely don't know at this point that there are three players close to them, right? So let's see how they are going to react to this, and if the support comes in, because he just had a Winchester with him. That is not how you're going to take on three players, and that is the right decision to back off at this point. And the other players of Infernal Parasites, they are also kind of circling around the players of BFS. So BFS might just be heading into some sort of a trap here.
It certainly does seem like the case, because again, when you talk about the Infernal Parasite approach towards this team of BFS, they are spreading themselves out, they are fanning themselves out, and that is a really good approach coming in. Of course, we talk about Dictator. He was looking pretty comfortable in the first game as well when it came down to the aggressive stance that he did end up taking. That was on the map of Erangel. But move that conversation towards this right now. The entirety of the team is having a lot of communication, but eventually there are also going to be conversations about, well, it's only the first 3 to 4 minutes of the game. You do need to be working towards getting a lot of utilities as well. As we can move to look at the utility part for Dictator, he has no helmet, he has nothing pretty much sorted for himself as far as those utilities and those important things, basically, right, when it comes to your survivability of the game are concerned.
Definitely, and he does not have a helmet, but he's already happy. I know, because he's got an M416, and what better gun? How happy do you become, Blotter, when you find that gun in the game? Tell me.
Honestly, dude, yes, that is going to be, again, so cannot expect me to be that wonderfully skilled when it comes to, controlling the guns. There are so many, but yes, when you do find the M4, you're in control of that gun. You know that you're going to be able to bring some mayhem into your gameplay, because that is the comfort approach. But once again, when you talk about these leveled and talented players, they are really, really spot on with the kind of skill that they've got with individual guns. And so some of them I've seen actually be very versatile, and some of them are very, very particular about what gun they end up choosing to play the game.
Yep, definitely. It depends upon the situation, but honestly, I'd like to believe that all these players are skilled enough with all the guns in the game, and as they're playing and practicing at this level, they must have definitely fought with some other gun which they are not very comfortable with in some game or the other. So they end up getting a lot of practice with all the different guns as well. But when it comes to M4, these players, I would like to believe, like almost 99% of the players who play PUBG love that gun, and
Exactly.
want to play with that gun. So Emperor is something they have practiced a lot with, and when it comes to those beautiful sprays with the 6x with the 3x on, that is always an amazing sight to witness.
Absolutely. And again, I mean, as you were so beautifully mentioning, when it comes to the guns, another thing to factor into that conversation is going to be the map that you're playing on, right? You do have to kind of factor that into it, because again, as we talk about the current situation that we're casting, we are having a look at this game where indeed you have, well, Miramar. And on this map of Miramar, there are a huge lot of opportunities to be able to get those bolt action sort of shots going on against your opponent. And that is going to be a crucial thing as well. But eventually, teams do have a very versatile approach towards the utilities, towards the way the team synergy has been set up. Some teams we've seen to be, they just rush and gun sort of a team is what they end up being. And other teams are the ones who like to play it slow, get the information, and then retaliate very seldomly, because they're trying to get themselves in a consistent gameplay to be able to walk away with points and get those points in every single game.
Honestly, it couldn't have been explained better. These are the two major like strategies we can draw where the teams actually play. Either they are always looking for some points, or they're always looking to express themselves. This is just the two-way way, and it was like brilliantly explained by you, Blotter. And 1952 being one of the team, I would like to classify this team as a team who loves to express. The way they played the
True.
last days of the finales of the PMPL, it was an amazing treat to watch them play, and I would really like to see this team get into that sort of a form or rhythm at certain stage.
Most certainly, dude, because that is, of course, going to be the expectation coming in from the lads who are viewing as well. The viewers pretty much are going to be looking towards what Venom Legend bring to the table, what 1952 bring to the table, because these lads have a lot of experience. They have a lot going for them. But at the same point of time, that's a conversation that me and Johnny started in the first game of Erangel for today, which was based on, well, yes, you've got experienced players, absolutely. But what makes an experienced player's cry? It is those moments where they come across a lad who is trying so hard, who has been working, and he's just been grinding so very much for the longest time, and that is where new blood is found. That is
Definitely,
where
definitely.
new talent is found, and that is where those veterans are shown the gate way out. Sadly.
That it's time for new players to come in, right? And
Yes.
this sort of a tournament is like the ideal like gateway for all these new players who grind in all the scrims. They like wake up, they play, and they sleep, and they eat in between, right? And when they die early in a scrim. So these players, they practice so much, so hard, and where if they are from any region, they always love the game. That is the love for the game that makes it so special. And when these players can come into the esports scenario, come into the scenario where they can actually be recognized at this level, that is exactly what every good player dreams of.
Absolutely. With that conversation, let's move on to the map itself, where we were initially talking about NRZ taking that western approach towards ruins. They seem to have found all the loot that they wanted to, and now going to be moving in towards the zone itself, towards the southern part of Montenueno, is where we see the rotation working out for them. On the northern side of the game, we do have Team IR, who are still outside the circle, who are in the zone, or not really. They're in the blue zone basically, but they are going to be making that rotation. We can see all four lads have their individual vehicles. That is going to be another very crucial thing when it comes to Miramar. When it comes to the team, all the team members ought to have at least, a team needs to have at least 3 vehicles, I think, when it comes to Miramar, because you do not want to be caught off guard in a single van or in a single Mirado with 2 lads, because one good spray, one really good spray of the mutant or whatever, and you are done for.
Definitely, the vehicles always play a very vital and crucial role inside the map of Miramar, because you got to traverse a lot, right? This is a big map. You got to traverse a lot, and you can always use those vehicles as a cover in emergency situation as well, in the final circles as well. So you really got to keep as many vehicles as you can. You're saying 3, I would say, if you can, if all the players are good, carry 4 vehicles in Miramar, and
True, true.
always be ready to help your other teammate if he in case loses a vehicle, because a vehicle mishap in Miramar is not very far away at any point.
Exactly, because again, when you talk about the way this entire landscape has been created by the gods of PUBG, right? There is a lot of open grounds, there are a lot of crevices, there are a lot of hills, there are a lot of mountains that eventually, again, no matter if you're up top or on in a situation where you're king of the hill or you're down low in the trenches, there are advantages and disadvantages to both. When you're top of the hill, you have a lot of information being showcased towards you, but at the same point of time, now this is what we were talking about. This lad from Chase Evolution, the team that had a perfect chicken dinner in the previous game, we finally see a little bit of retaliation being brought on against them, and that is going to be from the side of CRYPT.
Yep, definitely. I got a bit surprised over there, but Quip taking absolutely brilliant shots over here. He's got a mini 8x, thus, and we saw him dish out good damage. His stats were like shown a bit in between games. So he's a decent player, and that buggy is being damaged right now. So the players of Quip making sure that they get their vehicles intact. But this vehicle certainly is now of no use for Tassin, and he's got to move towards his teammate on foot.
Exactly, and with that leopard skin, that's going to be a little difficult right there. But once again, it is just one of those moments where Tassin's teammates certainly have the higher ground, and they have gotten into a flank as well. As we can see, the lad right in front of Tassin right here, which is going to be S14. He's the one who has created a flank towards the side of CRYPT, and Team CRYPT have themselves locked into this one little apartment that they're in, a 2-floor apartment. They are probably wanting to be creating a flank angle as well, and that, as I say so, that's exactly what CRYPT is working towards. Now, moving in towards the map once again, this is where we see another wonderful shift coming in from the circle, where Team NRZ is going to be in the center. South of Picado is where we see the circle bringing it down towards, and this is going to be good. So many teams are outside the zone, are going to have to rush on along from Chumasaira side, from, of course, La Bendita as well as Graveyard, and this could result in a lot of skirmishes.
Yup, and it's a funny one world we live in, right, Ablora? Because look at where IR and NRG are going to find themselves. And Venom Legends, 4 axis, they were so good inside the earlier zone, but now at this circle they are outside, and now they got to struggle and go inside the zone. So this is the amazing thing about this game. At no point in the game you are like 100% secure. No position is like 100% okay. You can anytime be challenged and thrown out of the ballpark with a zone shift, and that is exactly what has happened here for teams like 4xs, BFS, and Venom Legends.
Exactly, and talking about the fight that we were witnessing, it is CRYPT who were at the receiving end, and it has got to be Baku who is being sent back to the lobby. It is not the affair that they wanted to see, wanted to be a part of, but eventually it is going to have to be the case for the side of Baku, for the side of Team CRYPT. But move the conversation towards GT right here, and that's going to be, I believe, BeatDrop, I think, is the team that we're looking at. And this, again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they seem to have found a really comfortable and clear, open compound that is going to be perfect, with so many individual places that they can sneak into and then create so much of chaos for the teams that are going to be moving in towards them as the circle closes in.
I would really like to see how the city of Picado is going to get controlled over here, because it's just being occupied by one single team right now. The players of CRYPT are holding it up, but there are a lot of players around. Still, look at that. This is the third circle closing in. A lot of rotation that is happening right now. 16 teams still in action. 62 players still here fighting. So definitely some of the teams are going to find Picado as their new home. So let's see what happens in Picado and just the upper ridges towards the south and east side of Picado.
Exactly, and as you were talking about CRYPT, let's move on towards Exentric, who are looking pretty confident with the compound that they've got for themselves. They are in the zone, and they've got their crosshairs set up towards the side of TRZ, and it is C-Wine with a mini 14 once again. A really, really versatile gun, this one right here, and a lot of shots that are going to be placed towards the side of course, TRZ, but C1 is not able to connect them thus far. But the entirety of the team of Exentric is looking towards all the areas of the compound. If we move on towards the shot map that is on our top right of our screens, that is where we can see all the lads from Exentric are covering all the different angles, and that is going to be good because they do not want to be caught off guard in this situation. That is the only house that they have for them, working for them pretty much.
Definitely, and this is not a good sign for TRZ at this point. Losing a player at this point is not certainly what they want, so they need to put that revive back on. So an M249 is also here. Let's see if someone is going to get their hands on this gun, but Picado is out of the equation for now because the next shift of the circle, ladies and gentlemen, is towards the western side. There's a bit of a ridge that is going to be the home for the teams like IR, teams for NRZ there, and GTxBeatDrop is holding up a pretty good position. Exentric Infinity is also going to find themselves in a pretty decent spot. But look at that, towards the southern side, still Venom Legends out of the game. TRZ is now finding their compound outside the zone. They need to put in the rotation now. If you go towards the eastern side, teams like BMG, those 3-man squad, they are still suffering. They really need to make that rotation. The area where they are moving is already pretty crowded, and look at that, Naeem goes out of the game. So that is not a pretty decent game for the players there.
Absolutely, and moving the conversation towards this wonderful, wonderful blow. This is looking pretty good for the side of KSX, and it is going to be Ifti who brought that perfect spray, and it was BF who were at the receiving end of that story. But Ifti now looking comfortable where he's at. Again, talking about those crevices that are part of this map, that is what is going to be his cover. But another side of the same team is going to be Sanhok, and Sanhok is also delivering a few blows towards whatever team that his crosshairs are going to be able to find. BFS has found themselves into the circle, but they have got to be a little more careful. Without the use of utility, running away like that in the open is inviting a lot of trouble, and it is Exentric that is delivering them the gift that they wanted in the name of those lead.
Definitely, and look at this. How beautiful which beautiful position are the players of KSX and Exentric Infinity have found each other. There are so many teams just rotating near about the edges of the zone right now, and these lads are inside the zone. They've got those clear shots. They're making life difficult for the players of PFS. BMG was also there in the rotation there, and look at this. TRZ once again finds a compound, so that gives you an idea. This team is always looking for compounds, so this is going to play an impact when when the other teams are going to do some homework. Another compound that TRZ have found inside the zone at this point. So we'll see how the fate of these teams changes as the game progresses. But right now, KSX, they have got some teams coming in. The Infernal Parasites have closed in. Heaven has got a knock. The second knock coming in on FT. Heaven is making significant impact on the players of KS. They were so much concentrated towards the other side of the zone that they have been eliminated from the game. They become the first team, and I did not expect KSX to get eliminated so early in this game.
What a perfect spray coming in from the side of Infernal Parasite. That was just perfectly communicated, the aggressive stance that they took against the side of that team. And boy, oh boy, KSX is the first team to be sent back into the lobby, along with which we are looking at BFS, who did get themselves in the zone, but not for long. And that is the answer that will be delivered to that three-man army that BFS has been for the day. Move that conversation towards Venom Legends. They are also at the edge of the zone, trying to take on a fight against the side of 4Axes. And 4Axes are also a 4-man strong team for the moment. And along with that, they also have the perfect cover of this compound. But the biggest trouble both these teams are going to be suffering with is going to be the fact that they only have 35 seconds for this comfort, after which they are going to be pushed, they are going to be rushed thanks to the zone, and that's going to be the 6th zone stepping in.
Yep, and that is going to give a lot of damage if you are going to remain in the blue, so they really need to move. But I'm really impressed the way Infernal Parasites are playing this game. Now BMG is eliminated, 13 teams now remaining, but look at that, 4X is getting a hold of the players of Venom Legends at this point. Frypan goes down, the players of TRZ taking shots on them, so Venom Legends getting shots from multiple teams trying to enter the zone from the southern part of the zone, and 4X is a team that has been a bit of passive on the day, now are making some serious damages to the players of Venom Legends at this point. But look at that, the blue zone which you mentioned, brother, is now going to close in, and this is not a good news for the players of 4Xs.
4Axes are certainly going to have to make this slow and steady approach in towards the zone, because that's going to be crucial. But as they do so, they are also in the same exact crosshair situation that Venom Legends were, which is going to be, well, there are so many teams that are already waiting for you inside the zone, and that's going to be really crucial as to how are you going to be able to avoid them. With that, it is Venom Legends being sent back into the lobby on the 13th position this time around, sadly, with 0 kills, and following them on the 12th position is going to be VSeSports as well. And on the other tangent, TRZ is ready and prepped for that 4-axis rotation.
Definitely, and this is not looking good for a lot of teams. Shoygot going down there, seconds ago in front of us. GTxBeatDrop has the compound right now, but they have got a pretty decent neighbors with them. Infernal Parasites, they're looking so good on their confidence right now. I believe they're still, I could still see 3 of the players there, but look at this, another knock coming in from Heaven. This guy has gone berserk today. He's making serious damage with the AKM that he's using right now. Let's see how the players of Infernal Parasites are going to move ahead from this point, because this fight is happening and erupting towards the eastern edge of the zone. There are a lot of nevers, and look at that map towards the right hand side, brother. So many teams just on the edge trying to survive. This is an amazing fight erupting towards the eastern side.
Most certainly, Trooper. And with that, when you talk about being out in the open, that is where so many teams are being caught off guard. It is, of course, Infernal Parasites that we were talking about, and Infernal Parasites, well, only one lad, that's going to be Dictator, who's the one that we've seen bring in to be the assault, pretty much sort of a role for the team. He's the one who does bring in a lot of aggressive stance for the team, but eventually has been knocked, but thankfully is very close to his teammates and will be given a revive. Now that's going to be crucial as well as you move into these final few circles. That is going to be really crucial because you do want to have all 4 members of your team stay alive, and that is how you can confirm your better placement into the overall ranking when it comes to the placement as well as the points that you walk away with. Talking about the game itself, we are going to be moving in the next 35 seconds in towards the 6th zone, and that's going to be crucial because IPG will probably have to leave the comfort of this compound. They have brought down a lot of teams, they have dished out a lot of damage, they have gotten a lot of points through that compound, but now the gods of PUBG are going to push them away from that situation.
And after that, that backstab that they executed on the players of KSX, they've still got 4 more kills. So Infernal Parasites are making some serious damage. But on the northern side, we can see another team, and look at that, Zap eventually going down, and this another knock coming in from Marshall. Look at how beautifully the players of Infernal Parasites are looking to dominate in this game. Chase the evolution out of the game at this point. Certainly they did not expect this out of this game. But we have a very beautiful compound here that NRZ is holding up just outside the zone. They also know that they need to move towards where 4Axis is trying to go at this point. The Beast has been caught in the process. He's been eliminated. Shakir is still remaining. He's trying to move with his vehicle, but shots count completely towards him. He's going to go down as well, but now it is time for NRZ to move ahead as well.
Absolutely, and wow, with that we've got 7 teams remaining. IPG is out in the open as they push on along. The Infernal Parasites have been asked to leave that compound now, have got themselves in the open, and this is where they could be at the receiving end, and that's exactly is what we're looking at, where NRZ are dishing out a lot of damage. 4Axis were able to get themselves into a decent position as they made that rotation, were able to get one confirmed knock, but were not able to confirm the kill, and as they tried to do so, there were so many teams waiting for that team that is going to be 4Axis that 4Axis were not able to confirm a perfect placement into the zone. Talking about the teams, the team number has been brought down to 5. This is where Marshall from the side of Infernal Parasites is still looking pretty comfortable. NRZ is where his crosshairs are going to be pointed down towards. Panda is still trying to bring out a lot of damage towards the side of Marshall, but Marshall seems to be holding his ground like a snake.
A lot of big teams have already been collapsed in the circle. Now just 5 teams remaining, brother, here. And as you brilliantly explained how NRG is controlling this circle with the Riches right now, let's see how much impact are they going to make more in this game. Because if the next zone also keeps this Ridge inside the zone, there is no team that can get close to them and take away this chicken dinner. But in the backdrop, I can see a team of TRZ that is looking good with the numbers of the players that they have got alive at this point. So you can never underestimate that team as well. So let's see what TRZ and NRZ are going to do in this game from here, this point onwards.
Absolutely, and right here we are looking at Panda getting himself out in the open through that perfect spray, is able to knock down player of TRZ. Once again, as you so mentioned perfectly, Trooper, NRZ are in a really good control, but it is going to be Infernal Parasites Marshall who's not going to be taken more. He will bring down one lad from NRZ, but eventually it is going to be moving on down towards a kill confirmed as well. NRZ were looking pretty confident, but boy, oh boy, this has turned into quite an interesting turn of events where the team is left with only 3 lads, and along with that, we are looking at only 3 teams surviving. A lot of process are being struck out towards the side of NRZ, and it is going to be 2 versus 2 situation right here where NRZ's players are trying to be pushing on along, and that's going to be Squeezer who has brought down the side of course Team IR, Fragger at the receiving end, and the second player, that's going to be Hex, has given away his position, and this is going to be Squeezer's game if he's able to constantly bring in that barrage of bullets towards the side of Team IR. That has resulted once again in just these 3 teams remaining. Dude, this is going to be good. This is going to be really good. TRZ looking comfortable with 12 kills. We know for a fact that NRZ has also been able to get those amount of kills for themselves. Where is Team IR at? What are they going to be doing? IR is left with only 1 man remaining for the moment, and that's going to be Hex.
Yep, Hex is there and the zone has supported him, so he did not have to move much, and that is why the is still there in the game. But look at this. The Rich did not stay in the game. And the NRZ, Static Tribe, they had to move outside. They lost 2 players in the process. This is not looking good for NRZ right now. Static Tribe and just one last player remaining there. Let's see how the RZ is going to move ahead from this position. Squeeze is the last player. Squeezer is the last player that is remaining in front of TRZ. So this is going to be chicken for TRZ Esports eventually. And let's see if Squeezer can pull a 1v3 at this point. I don't think so. The chicken here is in the game number 3 from Miramar, goes to TRZ Esports.
What a perfect play that was. Again, I mean, they held that ground for quite some time. They were allowing all the other teams to slowly and steadily get themselves into the position that they thought were good. And TRZ, wherever they found the opportunity, were taking down those shots, were bringing down those kills, and eventually were able to walk away with 15 kills from this game. That is going to be really good. 30 points to this team. A massive boost, a massive boost for the side of TRZ Esports placement, because overall ranking, we can see that they've got themselves on the 4th position.
That's a big game. 30 points from just one game. You're definitely going to go ahead. And just after playing 3 matches, they have managed to reach the top 4. So that is an amazing thing which TRZ has accomplished from just 3 games. Still one more game remaining for TRZ. And the way they are going, I would not be surprised if they end up in the final circle once again and like get that topmost position.
Exactly, and talking about the MVP, it is going to be TRZ's player Atomic right here with those 6 kills, 1 assist added on along with that. 1061 damage dished out throughout the entirety of the game. Wow, TRZ are looking good. TRZ are looking really comfortable with this gameplay on Miramar, and once again they're going to be going back to, with this momentum, they're going to be going back to the well-known map of Erangel. Wow. Good storyline.
it is definitely, and this is the same team Blotter that got 7 chicken out of 10 games at the quarterfinal stage. So I'm really happy for them to come at the same final stage and get this chicken dinner for themselves, and this really tells a lot about this team. So we'll see. We'll just keep a close eye on TRZ from this point onwards. How are they going to play in the remaining 9 matches that they still have to play in the semi-final stage, and how many chickens can they get? That is going to be a question that is going to arise in everyone's mind now.
Exactly, that is so very true. That is the top-notch player that plays that TRZ have showcased. But not only that team, right? Because as we move on towards top players, we are looking at 2 players coming in from the side of TRZ. That's going to be Atomic and, of course, Reps right there. But IPG's player Heaven is right here with the 6 kills and 663 damage that he was able to dish out alongside NRZ's Squeezer. Now Squeezer made an interesting push in the end, resulting in him being caught off guard, so to say, because he was all alone in that approach. But that was an interesting play coming in from the side of NRZ in this game.
3 teams getting 20 plus points in the game, so it's been a big game for these 3. And look at that, 2 more teams getting 10 and 17 points from the game. IR is going to be really happy with the outcome of this game. They were there till the last and final circle, but 10 points in the placement, that is exactly what IR needed. But look at where 1952 is in this game. Also, once again, just 1 point from this game. Not a really amazing performance from 1952. They really need to buckle up and they need to stand apart from the crowd so that we can find them in the overall rank, in the match rankings and the overall ranking, at least in the top page.
That is so true, because again, you talk about the previous game, we were looking at 1952 and Venom Legends that were once again at 8th and 7th position respectively. But talk about the 9th position holder from this game. We are looking at Chaser Evolution. The previous game was certainly in their favor, but this time around they were not able to do so as they only got that 1 kill and 1 placement point. Talking about or going through the Oppo F19 Pro moments is where there was a lot of kills, a lot of wonderful plays being showcased from so many of these teams. And right off the bat, it was of course VFS in the 18th minute marker, the first team to be sent back into the lobby.
And I was really excited. I want to just take a time and talk about that elimination for the first elimination from the game, KSX. They were so much concentrated on BFS at that point, and they were targeting those smokes in the distance that they did not realize IPG, the Infernal Parasites, closing in on them. So
True.
It was really not a situation they would want themselves to find once again. But that is what happened to them over there.
That was a sad state of affair, but at the same time, they were able to get a few points working for them,
Yep.
so that was good. But overall ranking is showcasing an interesting story card. This is post game number 7, where I am a little confused if this is the actual standing, but wow.
Yeah. Actually, this is for combined for all the teams here. After 3 matches, just TRZ Esports had managed to reach the top 4. After this game, both Group C and Group D also would have played the 4 matches. So this is a pretty decent achievement for the players of TRZ and Static Fry, where they are here on the front page out of the 32 teams that have qualified for the semi-finals, completing the top 16. Look at where A1 Esports is. They are at the 16th spot now. I won't be surprised if they fall out of the list at the end of the game number 4 for Group C and Group D. X have moved down to the second page. So there are a lot of teams from Group C and Group D that have made into the second page. I wouldn't be really much surprised if these teams make a jump and go to the first page as well.
Exactly, because I mean that's what I was pointing out, Trooper, that I am not happy with the result right here, because when you talk about Venom Legends' approach to the game, well, it did not work out, did not pan out. They were on the top 8, but now have moved down to the second half of the leaderboard. But alongside that, when you talk about the first place, or rather the first page itself, we have teams who are after 3 games, they're reaching in the top 3 to top 5 ranking.
Exactly.
This has resulted in a very aggressive stance from Group C and D.
Definitely, and they're making. And in the second page, we saw out of the 8 teams, 6 of them were from Group C and Group D. So they have
Yep.
definitely dominated over Group A and Group B. But still, a few teams that need to get to the rhythm, really work their way through. 1952 is going to be one of them. VSeSports. GTxBeatDrop, I did not honestly expect them to have 5 points after 3 games, because they were the group leaders inside the round of 128, and for an underdog team to come up and lose their rhythm at this point, this is certainly not what we want. So they really need to figure out what is going wrong. But at our screens right now is TRZ Esports. We have talked about them a lot, and look at their stats. The damage of 1930 for Atomic. Definitely, he is the standout player in his team.
Most certainly, an atomic level play coming in from the side of TRZ, indeed, wherein you talk about the team's scorecard right here, the team's card basically. All the lads had 3 kills, so they are sharing those kills, just the same way that we saw Venom Legends card a game previous to this one, where it was once again all the lads sharing the kills and sharing that wonderful spotlight. But eventually, I mean, no matter if you share the spotlight or not, you better be walking away with points. You better be walking away with kills. And that is something that we can point out. A few teams, without naming names, do need to bring up their level of play into. But with that, we've got one more game remaining that will take us back to, of course, the OG map of Erangel. And hopefully these teams are going to be jumping into that one with this sort of a play, because, well, again, Group C and D, they are bringing in so much domination. With that, I'm really excited, but we do need to go on a very, very short break. Stick around. We're going to be right back.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the dust, if you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
PUBG Mobile, Godzilla vs. Kong. All new collaboration live now. In the latest version of PUBG Mobile, players may encounter titans during a match, just like in the movies. Let's learn more about the all-new game modes, shall we? Titan Strikes. The Titan Strikes mode introduces 3 titans to Erangel, Sanhok, and Livid. Godzilla and Kong move along designated routes across the map. Players can chase after them in vehicles, but if you get too close, you'll be knocked down and take damage. When Titans get ready to unleash a heat ray, the system will prompt players to leave the red zone marked on the minimap. Players equipped with high-level armor receive reduced damage from the heat ray. Titans will absorb energy which emanates gradually from the earth. Once the energy reaches a certain threshold, Titans release it and create Titan crystals around them. Different types of Titan crystals provide different effects. Erangel's blue Titan crystals are special throwable items that players can equip. They knock back and burn enemies who are behind cover. Sanhok's gold Titan crystals enhance players' abilities, making you run faster and jump higher. Livik's red Titan crystals give players the ability to detect enemies nearby for a brief period of time. These enhancement items give players an edge in battle. Use them and bring the chicken dinner home. With the help of Titan Crystals, players have even more unique tactics to achieve victory. Godzilla and Kong roam Erangel and Sanhok respectively, and players may bump into them on Spawn Island. Players can preview the Titan's route on the minimap, along with Apex Cybernetics, and low, mid, and high-level monster settlements. Apex Cybernetics are scattered along the Titan's route, which contains many valuable supplies. However, players can only enter the facility after a Titan has destroyed the base. Players that arrive early will not be able to get into the highly fortified Apex camp. At the same time, defeating different monster settlements rewards good supplies. Monster settlements are mainly occupied by lizards and crabs. Players can use a diversion to divide and conquer. The monsters are big, so using a shotgun at close range can deal huge damage. Players must also be wary of the Titan's attacks. Although they're not hostile towards players, they get irritated when there's too many players around. The Titan on Livik has unique electromagnetic abilities that affect the blue zone and cause it to shift every once in a while. Now, players must pay constant attention to the new play zones and transfer immediately when they begin to shrink, as to ensure they're not swallowed by the blue zone. Furthermore, Mechagodzilla periodically scans an area of the safe zone and marks the locations of everyone in the area on the minimap. This urges players to transfer or engage their enemies. Players must be extra careful. The Titan Strikes game mode is based on Battle Royale. Players must strive to be the last one standing amidst battling other players and Titans. With the addition of Titans, players are ready to witness their majesty and get their hands on the mysterious Titan crystals. Enjoy the all-new Titan Strikes and experience the earth-shattering might of the Titans.
Yeah, we got it, we did it! I know you'll be there for me.
I'll always be you.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Picking up the dust, if you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
Hello and welcome back once again to PUBG Mobile Campus Championship Bangladesh region. This is season number 1. All thanks to, of course, Oppo F19 Pro. Hashtag Wook Up Your Fun. We've got yesterday. It is all the saga event started. Of course, it was Group A and B. Now we have Group C and D. A wonderful turn of events. Final game is what we're going to be jumping into with, of course, Trooper joining us, the man who has been taking us through all of this action throughout the group stages as well. But dude, I have to ask you again, Trooper. This time around, what are your expectations from the known teams, from the teams that have till now been a little bit on the second page, on the third page, sort of on the leaderboard?
I think Venom Legends, they are not doing anything specifically wrong, so they don't have to worry a lot. They just need to keep their head straight and like do what they know the best. And this is Erangel. This has always been their strong point. So I think they're going to make a comeback in this game. That is what I'm expecting out of Venom Legends. But coming to 1952, the way they were making the run in Sanhok, the way they were like lost in the crowd inside the map of Miramar as well. I think they really need to step up their game in this point. And with the big stages coming not very far away, I think they are going to be. This is the exact kind of pressure I would like to believe that 1952 would find themselves, so that they could maybe outcome from here. That is going to be a perfect practice session for them.
Hopefully they end up doing so, mate. So very true. Because again, I mean, if they go into a stance, a space that is going to be their own, a place that they can call their comfortable space, right? When it comes to the location, when it comes to the utilities, all of it working for them. Hopefully, 1952 should be able to get a few decent points from this game. Now, talking about the circle itself, it is certainly going to be pushing all the teams towards the western, well, eastern side of the game, basically, but towards the side of Farm and Milta, because Farm is the center as of now. And talking about the teams that are so very far away, we've got CRYPT going down towards Zarki. For the moment, we have on the other tangent TRZ that have decided to go on to a completely different shift. So there are going to be some late rotations that we can certainly expect from these teams.
And what I was surprised was, honestly, for a fairly western plane path, we had an eastern circle. But for that plane path, no teams inside the Georgia Pool area. That is really a standout thing. So that gives you an idea about the mind frame of these players, the ideals that we have right now. They how strongly they are looking to avoid an early fight. That is what I'm trying to tell you here. So they all want to take those maximum 4 plays into the final circle. They don't want anything to go wrong. So that is a pretty passive approach for this last game. But this was the same for Group A and Group B as well. So if that is the same phenomena that is happening here as well, we are in for a very populated final circles.
That is so true. That is so very true indeed, because these players are certainly going to be getting into a lot of those situations where they're going to have to bring in the best of the best that they possibly can to, get those points working for themselves. And that is something that every single player in this lobby is going to be rushing towards. But eventually, as we talk about the initial few moments of this game, we're only 3 minutes in, and as of now, teams are looking pretty comfortable. Talk about Team B and G. Once finally, this is looking decent approach for this team, because again they are taking a slow approach to the start of this game, and that is going to be really crucial for this team to do so. Same, I wish I could say for teams that are so very close. Again, I would love to be able to see the map, because so many teams were really, really close. Are they going to be getting away, or are they going to be getting into the fight? And talking about BFS, that is what was on my mind. A team that has once again in this game also tuned in with only a 3-man army, and Team IR, Fragger and Hex are ready with the flank.
And look at this, how silently Prager is waiting here for this opportunity, right? And now with the vehicle cues in the in the headphones, he's going to make that run from there. This is not a very good situation for Turgut. And with all the 3 players of IR eyeing him, this is not an ideal situation for BFS Turgut at this point. Let's see how long is he going to survive over there, but his chances are fairly slim.
It certainly does look really, really slim. It's like, you're going on down towards Catch a Prey, and all sides, the entire family of Team IR is pushing on along towards the small little compound that BFF player has found himself in. And doing so, he was able to knock down Fragger, but of course, there were other players there to support from the side of Team IR, and that's going to be Break, that's going to be taking the kill away. But boy, oh boy, that was a sad start for the side of this team. That is going to be, of course, BFS, because first, this team for the day, the entire day number 2, has been joining into these games with a 3-man squad. Now they've been brought down to a 2-man army. That's going to be Slow Cheetah and UXT. Why? What could be the reason? That is so very important for the 4th lad to not be able to attend. This is a night and day situation in terms of their gameplay. They have been in some really good positions. Had they had 4 lads, it could have been. It seems like I'm turning into a broken record, because every single time I watch this team, I end up making this point. But it is just the fact.
It really breaks your heart, right? When a team goes at that point and they are not able to surpass those challenges of being present at least. If you're not having a good day, yep. If you're not having a good day.
So sorry, Trooper, to cut you off right there. But again, it's just about attendance, right? You are talking about campus championship. I understand that the classes and everything is something that so many of these lads might not go to, because it's a different state of affair altogether. But come on, this is attendance that you should be given, because it's a game that I don't know, mate. I don't know what's wrong, but what's going on. But certainly hope everything's okay for that 4th lad, IRL.
Yeah, I really hope everything is okay for the fourth lad, but that fourth lad really needs to understand that not only he's hurting his chances, he's also hurting the chances of his three teammates. So those three teammates have also fought over the challenges and they are present over here. So it is, I like to believe it that in a fight, it's always a moral responsibility of the guy with you to take part. So that is something is not that fourth person should be there. And if you're missing out on few games, maybe the time is the issue. You should make sure that you. I really hope everything is okay, Arisen. So that it's they are missing out, that he missed out on these games. But
True,
at this
true.
level, in the semi-final level, you can't afford to play with 75% of your players.
Exactly, because again, I mean, you talk a look, rather take a look at towards the PMPL sort of bigger events that take place, right? You have a massive opportunity to just be able to earn a little bit of that money based on your attendance itself.
Yep.
All you need to do is be there, be present. Does not matter how many points are you walking away with. Does not matter how many kills do you end up getting. But the team needs to be present in that lobby, and that's all you need to bring up that goodwill for yourself. But getting away from that situation, BFS, even though they've been a three-man squad, now been brought down to two, are slowly making their way through the entirety of the lobby. We have seen them go all the way into the top three, top five situations as well throughout the day. So that's going to be working out for them. This is Cheetah, Slow Cheetah, my apologies there, who is trying to, well, he's still uncertain if he should enter the shelter area or not. Because from one side, it is certainly going to be Cheetah, whereas on the other, we see Blue, who has already entered this vicinity and now is going to be maybe going down towards the side of that lad who's waiting over there.
Let's see. Let's see how things are going to turn for BFS at this point. But that is a pretty big split, don't you think? For three players, two players near the shelter area,
True.
one player in Rozok. I don't know what exactly they are trying to do. But meanwhile, some we'll look at some other teams as well. BMG Musketeer, he's always been a player that we wanted to watch out for. And look at that brilliant move! That timely prone did help him for a little while, but that forced Ashrak to come out, and that might just be the thing. No, Ashrak goes in and gets that second knock. But why was he running after the second knock? I could not understand. And eventually falls down, but not Jon Snow. It's time for him to rise up for his team. His team really needs him right now. And with this performance, I think he's just taken. It's just a narrow escape for the players of BMG at this point.
It certainly is. BMG certainly were almost at the verge of being knocked out thanks to that lad's approach. That is going to be. But eventually, they still do have all four lads alive. They will be given the revive and they will be able to continue the journey in towards the final moments of this game. Now, talking about the game itself, the map is where you bring the conversation towards, and we look on towards the left-hand side, the western side of it. We are looking at an interesting turn of events where there are a few teams that are still outside zone, but are going to be slowly making their way in towards the center. Talking about the center ridges itself, this is going to be Chaser Evolution. All three lads have been lost. There's only Tessin who is surviving. Once again, this is not the way I'm sure he expected the game to go down, with only second circle on us right now.
Definitely, he wasn't expecting this to happen, but this is something he has got to deal with now, and his team would would be relying on him to, if he can get some important points from this situation for the team, and those could be placement points which he could get. But that is also a pretty tough and like a big challenge for the lad, because we see how the crowded the final circles are. In fact, in the last game only, I think in the fifth circle only, there were like 10 or 11 teams that were fighting, and it's so crowded that for a solo player to sneak himself in there is going to be really difficult. Look at these beautiful two drops out there, these two babies, but out in the water, AWM of no use. I don't think anyone is going to risk themselves towards those drops, and those two guns are going to be of no use in this game.
Maybe, maybe not, because again, Chaser Evolution, you talk about the day number one that we casted. That could be the approach that this lad needs to take. He needs to get into the water and just keep swimming. Just keep floating, till the end. Just keep floating, just keep swimming, and hope that the circle brings it down towards you, because that is what Chase Evolution's last player can do. That is work towards those placement points. But like talking about other teams that are not only working towards placement points, but getting some kills as well, it is NRZ Tutul who is on our streams going down towards the side of the lads of 4-Axis, and 4-Axis Shakil as well as his teammate are hunkered down with the smoke next to those vehicles, but those vehicles have not been blown away as of now.
And look at that
Ouch.
knock coming in. And I would say this. I was expecting a pretty decent and slow start to this game, which has not happened. I'm really happy to see a few fights in the early stages. Still, all the teams are part of it, but five players have already been eliminated. So this hasn't been that silent game which we were expecting, and it's just because of I believe the RNG of the game. The playing path went towards one side, the first zone went towards the other side, and now the second zone has started closing in. And this is the beauty of the game. It always forces people to get close to each other and have this fight and altercations that we witness. So at this point, 4x's, that's a pretty good, decent opportunity for them to grab some points because they have been quite passive throughout the day. But before even the mid game has started, they are finding themselves in a fight in the last and final game for the day. So let's see what 4x's can pull up from here.
Exactly. For now, it is certainly looking like a situation that is going to be favoring TRZ Esports. They have not been able to confirm that kill of Shakil, but eventually, when it comes down to the entire team of 4axis, they do need to back out of that situation, and that's exactly what they will do. Shakil is left out in the open, but not for long, as we see NRZ's players were rushing down towards the beat side. Talk about the third airdrop coming in. This is going to be in between. Well, a lot of opportunity for these teams to be able to, walk away with the AUG, and that is going to be crucial for the side of Crypto from this. Well, again, it seems like the Crypto team was very close. Yes, it is going to be next to Shelter region. That is what we are looking at when it comes down to that drop. But the zone. But the zone is pushing these teams to get into a fight that they did not want. Venom Legends is what I'm going to be talking about right now, making that rotation towards the northern side of farm, but right next to them is going to be NRZ as well. Now, Venom do need to find themselves a decent placement. So does 1952. That's going to be right adjacent to them, but there are 4 teams in just this small little area, and that is what is not going to be working for so many of these teams as GT right now on the receiving end, and it is thanks to Venom Legend.
Yup, and Venom Legends losing a few players at this point, but they made sure that GTxBeatDrop has been eliminated. Only Frypan is knocked, and they're going to regroup for sure. But there's a team right behind them. That quick shot from Steel Shot did not land that M24 shot, but that was really quick reflexes on that shot. But that is this kind of thing we were talking about in the early stages of the game. Venom Legends really knows what to do, and that is exactly what they are putting off right now. 4 points already in their tally. That is an amazing start for Venom Legends, and now they need to capitalize on this start, and this whatever they missed out in the first 3 games can be equalized in just 1 game out here.
Absolutely. I mean, again, you have to give it to Venom Legends as they do have so much of information. But before we talk about that, let's talk about NRZ's approach towards this compound. That was, of course, being taken control of Exentric. And Exentric had all 4 lads very closely knit, and that one nade, that one nade was able to bring down Road, but had that nade been inside the compound, it could have been troublesome. On the other tangent, it is going to be TRZ that is at the receiving end, thanks to this lad from NRZ who has taken down these layers. He is Demon, and Demon is his name, Demon is his play. That's what he's bringing down. Wow. This is perfect. 3 players right here that are not looking too good, of course, but eventually White Cat will be able to get a little bit of a revival opportunity from his side, and Exentric have already cleared out the approach that they had towards that the 4th man from TRZ. Eventually, Exentric have all 4 members alive as they rush towards the side of TRZ, and NRZ are now not looking good. But they could very well utilize this position because TRZ could get into a fight with Exentric that might just favor NRZ. But backlines are being supported by Magnet from 1952, who is just waiting patiently to get some nades in, to get some information in, and then retaliate and walk away with so many points if he can.
Both TRZ and NRZ are regrouping at this point. Exentric, I am not sure at which point to push because there's so much smoke in this house. This is a single-story house. 3 teams are inside this house right now. So, and 1952 just around the corner. So, 4 teams inside the vicinity at this point. Another knock coming in. Exentric making a mark, but there's still a lot of smoke to play with. But TRZ gets eliminated eventually. White Cat being the last player to get eliminated in the 15th spot. But look at Exentric now. They have another team inside the same house. This is all happening here in the Campus Championship Bangladesh, where not just one, 3 teams, and the Morley is here. Look at that. Blood, a constant, those smoke clouds posing a problem for Exentric. They want to push, but they have been forced to retreat because of the smokes out there.
They have no information at all. They're really happy that they were able to get a few kills in there. But again, I mean, NRZ, as we were mentioning, NRZ has been able to utilize this position. It is going to be Tutul who is alive for the moment. And Sazid is also right next to him. They just need to get that revival confirmed, and that will be there. They just need to get that health sorted around. And as that goes on along, there is just so much smoke, as you mentioned, in this party house that is taking place in the Bangladeshi region of this wonderful campus championship. That is just a GG play for the side of NRZ, and Exentric have decided to falter back. But keep in mind still, 1952, as we can see on the map, they have all 4 members of that team still working towards this compound.
And look at that, 4Xs are still on that bridge. So I was right, they are having a passive day today. So much action happening over here, but they did not decide to move from that bridge. They are still looking to survive. But the problem with them is they are out of the zone. They now have to leave the ridge. But on a different part of the map, towards the farm area, we have seen already Venom Legends get some important kills from themselves. But now it's time for the other team of NRZ in front of them. Let's see how they're going to deal with this situation. Panda made sure that he was there in the final circles in one of the previous games. But now, what is this team going to pull off when the really dangerous looking Venom Legends is looking to hunt them down?
Well, look at Rafat. He has all the information for Panda. He is just waiting for him to peek once again. Yep, there you go. He's getting his nade. He's getting that smoke. Is that a smoke? Huh.
Yep.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Well, that was really interesting because he ended up giving a smoke in towards Panda, and now he's going to be sending a nade in, and Panda could very well be taking a lot of damage from that push, but it is now FS 1952 going against 4Axis on that ridge that we were talking about. Right far in the distance, we can see NRZ and Exentric still have that push going on along. Thankfully, that perfect party house has been cleared of all the smoke, and Exentric have decided to push on along. It is going to be really crucial for Exentric to be able to walk out of that situation, but NRZ is well equipped and prepared. But the only trouble being the fact that NRZ had only 2 lads compared to the 4 lads rushing all together from the side of Exentric, thus resulting in Exentric getting the better half of that fight. Not only that, they have all 4 lads still alive. 7 defeats to this team. Let's go back to 1952 and 4Axis, where the fight continues on. We've got 1952's 3 lads all alive and looking pretty good. But back in the south line, in the fault line, we've got Team IR also jumping in slowly and steadily, probably.
It's been an amazing fight inside this compound in this last game, and eventually Exentric Infinity coming out on top. But I just really like the way NRZ survived there till as far as they could. They knew that they were outnumbered. They were trying to survive. They regrouped at one point. Just one guy from NRZ was standing. 2 of his teammates were down, but they made sure that they regrouped and survived for quite a lot of time. But not in terms of the match rankings. They have been eliminated in the 13th spot. But what is happening with 1952? It's the team of 4Axis, one of the passive teams out there, and 1952 is not looking to express themselves at all. And I'm really surprised with the gameplay what 1952 is doing, because I've seen this team, and we have all seen this team in the past, and we've seen them dominate in the final circles and in the mid games as well. What are they doing wrong here?
Exactly. It seems like a really passive approach that 1952 is bringing to the table. But right about now, when we did have a look at the map, there was Team IR right behind 1952, but 1952 is all left by themselves to go up against that team, because Team IR have decided to go on a completely different flank, make a very extreme rotation from the outside of the zone into the circle, and here is where we find this team. Team IR, all 4 lads alive and looking real good as they push on alongside the compound of Crypto. This is Break right here, who certainly seems to have found the head of Terror right there, and he is going to be cooking that nade, bringing it down towards the Error 404, and Terror is not going to be looking good. On the other tangent, when we talk about this third lad, that's going to be Lelouch from Crypt. He is in the watch house but has already been knocked, thus meaning this is a 3v2 situation between Team IR and Crypt, and well, it almost seemed like Crypt was getting a third party situation as well.
And in the kill feed, 2 players from 1952 have been knocked down there by Venom Legends. Not a good start, but look at that. IR also losing a player. These are fights erupting in different areas of the map right now. Towards the southern side, we have the Infernal Parasites, and as we speak, 1952 have been eliminated once again. Entry falling down to that Molly finally, and look at this. I'm really shocked at this point, but we'll come back to that later. Right now, we have Team Exentric in front of us, trying to get hold and make some third-party move on the players of Infernal Parasite. Right now, we have just eliminated 1952, and this is a run out in the open towards the B side. Let's see how impactful this run is going to be from the players of Exentric Infinity.
Exactly, Excentric's C-Wine has been rushing on along towards this side, but again, he does need to keep in mind that running in this sort of a situation, all out like that, is going to be giving away a lot of positions, and of course, going to be given a lot of opportunity to other teams to get that third-party sort of an approach brought in towards their favor. Now, look at Team KSX. They have a decent compound working for them. They've got all 4 lads alive. They've got 4 defeats as of now, looking pretty comfortable when it comes down to the compound and their approach to the entirety of the game. On the other tangent is, of course, going to be my apologies, Venom Legends, who is in the center pretty much as it looks, and they are looking comfortable as they bring those kills in their favor. Talk about Team IR, they will bring in those players to get a lot more points. As of now, Team IR is looking good with the 2 kills, 2 defeats that they have been able to give to the lobby, but they are only a 3-man army, and after having made this rotation, they have given away a lot of their information, and it is going to be NRZ, Squeezer, and Panda, who certainly may be looking towards getting the kills of these players from Team IR.
Definitely, and they have made like regular appearances in the final circle, so they know exactly what they are doing. But let's see how IR is going to deal with this situation, because they're also a pretty experienced and decent team. But Venom Legends, they have been outstanding in this game so far. So now 8 teams are remaining here. Let's see BMG holding up the center right now, but under constant pressure. And look at those nades landing on point. Singami getting eliminated through that nades, and IPG, Infernal Parasites, making sure they get some crucial points. 9 kills already inside the tally of the team of IPG Electrify at this point. They are coming in from the southern side. From the northern side, we already saw Venom Legends, like they are blooming. They're controlling the area of the farm side. But in this mix, we still have KSX. We cannot take them out of the equation at any point, and now they're making their impact. They've got 1 kill against Steel Shot. They've got 1 knock against the players of IPG Electrify. But this is going to be a 3-way action as it is unfolding in front of us.
Exactly, that has resulted in only 5 teams remaining. KSX right now is what we are stuck with, and they have all 4 lads still alive, going down, bringing down a lot of teams. It is going to be a lot of chaos being caused and dished out towards the other lads, because KSX is on a roll. On the other side, you talk about the center of the circle. That is another different fight that is going to be taking place. But Team IR, they have a decent place for the moment. They are going to be pretty much at the edge of the zone, right next to NRZ is what we can see. They have popped out a few more of those scopes to be able to cover their positioning, but eventually the vehicles that they are using are going to be taken away from them thanks to KSX Sanhok. He is the one who is not going to be allowing for Team IR to be able to get those vehicles out of there, and they are at the edge, thus implying that once the circle does go down, Team IR is going to be left with no cover.
Definitely, Team IR at this point, it's going to get pretty difficult if the zone goes away from that point. A little bit of vehicles that they have and a smoke that they have built up around themselves is helping them to survive at that point. But let's see how the things are going to unfold for them. And KSX making sure they use the ridges brilliantly at this point. We'll see, but as of now, we can see towards the map there, the zone is shifted towards the southern side. So that brings an equation for the teams who are coming in from the southern part, and that is IPG Infernal Parasites. They really have a good chance at this point. But look at that IR, they are under pressure now. They really need to move out of that situation, but they do not have very much options available.
Exactly. As soon as they try and get out of that, Team KSX is ready. They've got a really fanned out approach towards the positioning of Team IR, but who is taking the limelight from this opportunity is going to be NRZ's Panda right there, because NRZ's Panda is on top of that hill for quite a long time and is being absolutely quiet. He is not giving away his position whatsoever at all, and that's going to be working in his favor. One good nade from that lad could actually bring down the entire team of Team IR. That could very well be the third party that we are talking about, that we have been talking about, but never mind the conversation, because Team IR will be able to bring down Static Tribe's final player, that was Panda, eventually taking us down to the tally of 4 teams remaining. IPG right here, the Parasites, they have 10 kills till now. Wow.
Definitely, it's a pretty decent big game coming in from them. But look at that, one more knock coming in from the side of KSX at this point. And look at this, they are, and this shift of the circle is definitely favoring IPG at this point. But KS is not allowing it to be that easy for them. And Need coming in, taking down Marshall at this point. Now just 3 teams remaining in this game. This is IPG Electrify, KSX, and Venom Legends in the final circle. Venom Legends trying to regroup, coming in from the northern side. From the south, we had Infernal Parasite. They are also looking good, but KSX, they are looking menacing at this point with 7 kills in their tally. They have got the man advantage in this situation. They are looking to snatch the chicken dinner at this point.
Absolutely, as you mentioned, I mean, they've got those 7 kills, they've got all 4 ads alive. They are going to be working on down towards getting into the position of Venom Legends, who have just now been able to revive Rafat and Frypan. And Rafat are the 2 lads, but they are oblivious to the fact that we do have Ifti right here, who is so close to stealing those kills, and exactly what he shall do. He's going to not only 1 but knock down 2 and take away 2 lads, the only 2 lads from Venom Legends, and Venom Legends goes back into the lobby. Thus remaining are 2 teams. That's going to be KSX and of course the parasitic approach that this team has been bringing in. That's going to be Infernal Parasite Gx. They are a 3-man army going up against a 4. They have fanned themselves out, but KS, wow, Ifti and all the other lads, they are looking dominating right now.
Definitely, and KSX, and you remember in Miramar the way they were eliminated, we were surprised, and I'm not surprised the way they are dominating you over here in the final circle, because they have been doing it again and again in the previous rounds as well. But now this is the point, they really need to put that final nail in the coffin. 4v3 situation. This is Infernal Parasites in front of them. This is the same team that eliminated them in the last game at the 16th spot. But look at this clock coming in. This is 3 versus 3 now, but the position is given away. Mehfooz trying to survive. He's just got it away. He could have got knocked there. This is a 3v3 situation between KS and IPG.
Boy, oh boy, this is getting real good, because again, you talk about KSX's defeats till now, they have gotten a lot of kills. You talk about, of course, Infernal Parasite Gx and their approach to the game. They already are looking at 11 kills for the moment. This has resulted in both these teams looking really comfortable with the amount of kills, with the amount of points that they're going to be walking away with. But eventually, who is going to be getting the better half of this conversation? There are a few smokes absolutely present over there. KSX have been brought down into a corner thanks to IPG's approach right here. But this is not going to be the end scenario, I don't think, because KSX also does know how to flank. And for that, we have Sakil, who is going to be bringing in that flank angle for the side of IPG. Heaven is the one who's supposed to be taking care of that. Slowly and steadily, the smoke is going to be dissipating. This final few moments are going to be turning in favor of KSX for the moment, as IPG have received 1 more knock. Another knock being confirmed. Marshall down, Heaven down. KSX are going to be pushing on along. 2 knocks have already been confirmed. This is the opportunity that, of course, KSX were waiting for, and eventually will this be turning into an all-out war going in favor of this team? Oh yes, it will. Perfect.
Revenge is a dish best served cold, and that is exactly what is happening here. KSX managing the revenge from the last game, and look at that. What sort of a revenge is this? #1 in the overall ranking with this amazing performance for KSX. They have announced their arrival at the semi-final stage completely. 2800 of the damage, 27 points from this game, and a perfect start for KSX. And I would like to say at this point, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me, brother, that Group C and Group D have dominated the scene completely.
No 2 ways about it. There is no other way to the end of that conversation. This group, C as well as D, they have been bringing annihilating plays in the 4 games that we've witnessed today. Cannot wait for tomorrow's games, because after all, tomorrow, these groups are going to be going against each other. That's going to be A, B, C, and D all together. And that's when we shall find out what is going to be the end result of day number 3. But today, day 2, it has been phenomenal. Talk about KSX's approach. It is right here. KSX KSX's player Mehraj, who is going to be getting the MVP with 5 kills, 999 damage, with 5 assists on top of the 5 kills.
Definitely a very amazing stat to control for him, and even 5 assists. That is the important thing you mentioned over there. And look at the other players from the game that made an impression over here. Mahfouz was there in the final circles as well from Infernal Parasite. He's still here. 4x's has a player here. Sanj 1D is here. So this is also really going to be a big morale booster for the players of 4x's, that one of the lads has made it to the top players, and one lad from Exentric Infinity is also here in the top 4 players.
Absolutely, and this is where we have a look at the match ranking coming in from this 4th game between Group C and D, and it was of course KSX who did get those 12 kills. Of course, combined with the 15-point chicken dinner, they are looking comfortable with the 27 points and combined their effort together throughout. They started off on Erangel on the 2nd position. In the final game, again on the map of Erangel, they've topped themselves all over again and gotten that chicken dinner. Looking really comfortable when it comes to this team, but so many teams tried to stay close to as best as they possibly could. But again, there's so much more that we expect. For example, we've got Chase Revolution right here on the 14th position. We've got 1952 right there. Not the kind of positioning that we want to be able to see from these teams.
And they're going to be part of the finale pretty soon, 1952. What is wrong with them at this point? I'm really shocked with the performance that what they are doing. But coming to the Oppo F19 Pro moments of the game, this was a fight we had a close look at. Chase Revolution almost getting the better of PMG, but thanks to not Jon Snow arriving at the right spot at the right time and saving his team from that outcome over there. But this was an amazing game altogether, and this was the moment of the game for me. We're extending Infinity, NRZ and TRZ, 3 teams inside a single story, one house room. And how often do you see that happen?
That is so true. And again, in that situation, we also had 1952 in the back end. They were just waiting for that opportunity, but were sadly not able to take that opportunity in their favor. But move on towards these final few moments of IPG and as well as KSX. It was, of course, Mahfouz YT who held that ground for quite some time, but eventually was again brought down as he was the only one surviving for the team. It is going to be KSX with only that one chicken dinner, but thanks to the 32 kills that they've got and the placement points that they've been working in throughout the day, is going to be resulting them on the 1st position of the overall rankings with 67 points.
And look at this, what we were talking. 5 out of teams that have played today have made it inside the top 8. That is exactly what I was talking about. KSX is here, Infernal Parasites is here, TRZ is here, Team IR is here, Venom Legends is here. They have made sure they've gone here inside the top 8. Static Tribe, as we speak, they're in the top 9, and look at that. Phantom Esports has been pushed down to the 10th spot. They're not going to be really happy about that. But the important thing is A1 Esports is still holding on to that 16th spot. So this is the top 16 for now. But coming back and looking at the other teams who are still struggling and not inside the top 16, we have BMG here, NRZ Esports, SLX Deadshot. All these teams really need to pull up the gears and get the maximum points when they get the opportunity to play next time.
Absolutely, and that opportunity is going to be, of course, given to them tomorrow itself. It's not really that long that they've got to look back onto today as well as yesterday and find out where these teams, where their opponent teams are going wrong. Now, moving along, let's have a look at 1952. That team is on 30th position for now. I mean, I personally was bringing down rain towards the side of BFS Esports and the play that they brought to the table, but that conversation can still be in BFS's favor because they were a 3-man army, so it's okay. But 1952, with the experience, with this perfect play that you've got in your favor, what is wrong? Hopefully tomorrow they'll be able to answer that question for all of us.
Really, and the way they were eliminated, like 4x's, just the 2 lads in front of them, they had that opportunity to wipe them off, but they did not go for them. They just went for the passive approach, and after that getting like sandwiched in between 2 teams. That is not what I was expecting out of 1952. But for now, let's talk about KSX. The way they have taken this revenge against Infernal Parasites in the final circle, I really like the way it shaped out, and amazing performances from all the lads basically. Mehraj being the standout player from the team. He's got the maximum kills per match, 2.75. That's a really decent number for any player to carry at this level. 2.75 kills in competitive games. It's a really nice number to carry.
That is true. That is so very true. Because again, I mean, when you bring up the conversation about KSX and the way the entirety of the game, the entire day actually worked out, it was right off the bat, they were in control of positions that they were put in, and they were able to walk out of those positions with still at least 2 to 3 members alive. And that is going to be really crucial when you talk about these games. Now, KSX did bring this gameplay up, and again, I mean, 4 games is all they needed to go up to 67 points. You know, yesterday, of course, now this is where Group A and B are going to have the conversation. Dude, it's unfair. It's unfair that we had to go on day number 1. It would have been better had we gone on day number 2 so that we knew what to bring to the table. But eventually, what I would say is that these lads, all these 4 groups, they have tomorrow. Now they know what to expect from the entire 4 groups. Now they've got tomorrow. That is where things will probably be settling down.
Actually, it is going to put pressure on the teams that have played inside Group A and B now. So they are going to realize the importance of each and every game that you play. So starting tomorrow, the matches are going to be more like, I would say they would have a decent approach in the beginning. But I really liked how this last and final game shaped out for the teams. The fight started from the 7 or 8 minute marks and carried on till the last final circle. It was an amazing way to finish the game.
Absolutely was, Trooper. It certainly was one of the best games that I've actually been able to cast and be a part of, because everywhere you see, there were so many incredible opportunities being created for so many individual teams. I mean, you talk about that small little compound that you did mention. There were 3 teams hunkered down in. There was 1952 right behind them. Exentric, just the way they were able to push on along. Beautiful plays throughout the entirety of this day. But with that, day number 2 does come to an end. Now, this is where tomorrow we will find out for ourselves Group A, B, C, and D. Where exactly do they stand? Because this is a 6-day affair when it comes to the entire semi-finals. And tomorrow we shall see on the 3rd day what to expect from these groups. With that, it is going to be taking us down to the end of our show. It is a big thanks to, of course, Oppo F19 Pro for making it all happen. And of course, thanks to you lads sitting back at home for joining in, for tuning in, for showcasing the love that you got for all of your supported teams. Do not stop showcasing that love. With that, again, any final words from you, Trooper?
So, just waiting for tomorrow. Let's see what is going to happen. I'm really excited.
Absolutely, mates. With that, we're going to be taking off. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, take care. Sayonara.